going to show you how to take your network marketing game into the next century, how to bring it into today's technology, and how to leverage it to accelerate your business and generate those big checks. So I'm excited to welcome you guys to the 3-day AI challenge. First of all, let's start by giving yourselves a round of applause. You can be anyplace else on a Friday night, but you are here investing in yourself. The gift of time, energy, focus, learning, and knowledge so that you can sharpen your axe and grow your checks. So congratulations to each and every one of you. We love you. We're proud of you. So glad that you are here. Excellent. All right, who's here for the first time? If you've never been to a Holton Bugs 3-day weekend, either in person or online, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. 1 meaning it's your first time. Let me see the ones. Oh my God, look at all the
Yeah, he's doing it.
Welcome.
He's introducing them.
Come on, keep them coming. If this is your first time, put that in the chat. Look at making me smile to see all the ones. Oh my God, way to go. So excited. Welcome to all you first timers. Now, for those of you who've been here before, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put a number in the chat that represents how many times you've been here before. If you've been here once, you can put a 1. If you've been here twice, you can put a 2. If you've been here 7 times, put a 7. Let me see that. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, we got 6s, we got 7s, we got 8s in the chat. 2s, way to go. 5s, 4s, 7s. Excellent. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you guys, especially those of you who keep coming back. Because you know what? Here's what the rookie mistake would be. The rookie mistake would be to say, you know what? I've been there before. He's probably going to do the same thing. I'm going to skip this one. But anybody more than once will tell you that no 2 3-day weekends have ever been the same. And this one will be entirely different than anything that you've been to before. I think that, as a matter of fact, I think the only parts that are going to be the same are going to be the part that I'm about to do next, where I talk about the rules of the game. But other than that, this thing is totally different. Again, as usual, I have the honor and the privilege of working with Mr. Bugs on the content. And when I saw the content that he had developed for this weekend, I said, wow, people are going to be blown away. He's going to answer the question that you've been asking. How do I leverage technology in my network marketing business? And he's going to show you how to do it in this weekend's 3-day AI challenge. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we do that, let's go ahead and jump into the rules of the game, right? And first of all, before we do that, do we show them our fancy title slide? Let's bring up the title slide so they can see what they're in for this weekend. Let's bring that up for everybody. Look at that. I mean, this is what we're talking about. I mean, how many of you think that is just hot, sexy, and exciting, and you just can't wait to find out what the new way to network is and how to leverage network?
Well, I hope he actually tells us and not
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is definitely going to be a woo-woo weekend. Marcel is going to be a fire weekend. Absolutely. Joy says, yay. And you know what, Joy, you're going to be saying yay all weekend. My buddy Nam, absolutely. You're going to get what you're looking for this weekend. All right, let's get down to the rules of the game. All right. You've got a I'm just going to tune in, and Mr. Bugs is going to do all the work. Oh, no, you did. What? You've got a role to play. So the first thing you got to do is you need to play all in, all right? You can't just be here. You got to be here, all right? Now, playing all in, what does that include? Well, number one, it includes turning on your camera. So, unless you are indisposed, unless you're at your job sneaking onto this deal, go ahead and turn on your camera, all right? Be here. Let us see you. Let us feel you. Let us get your energy, right? And I got to tell you one reason why you want to turn on your camera. How many of you have team members here, right? If you have someone here other than you, put a 2 in the chat, right? That means 2 or more, right? You got put a 2 in the chat because that means you've got team members on here, okay? So
that's why I'm recording it.
Congratulations, that's what leaders do. don't come alone. They bring their team. Way to go, Yvette. Way to go, Jan. Way to go, Phil. Way to go, Shingai. We know you always bring your team, right? Because you are a leader's leader, right? And so that's what happens. But here's the thing. If you are truly a leader, if you have team members, one thing you want to remember is this. Your team, even though they are adults, and you should always respect them as such, there's one thing that they have in common with children. They will not do what you say. They will do what you do. So you always have to demonstrate the example. You always have to be the example. You always have to show the way of what you want them to do, because you can't just tell them one thing and do another. So they will read into the fact that you don't have your camera on as you are not fully interested, as you are not fully present. And that will be a signal to them that they can be halfway present too. And you know what? That's going to show up in your check, right? So lead the way by showing that you are fully present, okay? We got a couple of exceptions. I know some of you guys are at work, but if you can turn your camera on, have that thing on, and let your team members see, and let Mr. Buggs see that you are all the way here. Be present, participate. There's questions that are asked. Congratulations to everybody who's putting in the chat. When I say, hey, put this in the chat or put that in the chat, drop the fire emoji, there's always a group of people who are going to participate. And then there's that other group that's too cool for school. Don't be that person. Because you know what? If you're too cool for school, then you're also too cool for the big check, right? I can tell you this right now. By being in it, by participating, it's not going to necessarily guarantee you the big check, but too cool for school will guarantee you that you will not get the big check. So be present, participate, take note. Coordinating for you. And that is intention. Why? Yeah, it's so easy for us to have a recording. Guess what? Secretly, we do, because we need one for us so that we can review and we can constantly get better. But we're not going to share it with you. You know why? Because here's the way our psychology works. When we know there's a recording, we don't pay the same level of attention. Because we say to ourselves and we think, you know what, I'm just going to go watch the recording. But you know what? We never do. We never get around to it. We want the best for you, so we want to make sure that you have every reason to stay focused.
Right.
So no recording. All right, here's another thing. We've got people here that represent all different types of network marketing companies throughout the industry. So here's what we did. We created a safe space. Wherever you are, I want you to say those two words with me. Safe space. This is a safe space for everybody to come and learn from the iconic teacher, Mr. Buggs. So in order for this to be a safe space, there is absolutely no form of self or company promotion. Okay? So that means you may not put your Instagram handle in your...
One dude, remember that,
How you gonna promote your own company on Instagram?
the dude had a picture of him as his background standing next to the Planet Marketing logo.
And if you change it
So
back to your Instagram,
The dude on the last call, who's in the company, had a picture of him and on his background standing next to the Planet Marketing logo
we're not fishing for
from one of the events.
on this event.
So yeah, they do that.
Company backgrounds. No, in no way, shape, or form you be promoting your company, your product, et cetera, et cetera. Okay?
No prospecting.
We had a little funny thing happen at the last time. We were working on how to promote your company, and Mr. Buggs challenged people to put together a promotion, and one of them was so darn good that we actually kicked that person out by accident. Because we're like, oh, this person promoted. But, all right, we won't do that again, but definitely make sure that there's no promotion, okay? And there's no
You might not
prospect.
come on here to learn something, be
Don't
promoting your
secretly direct message anybody trying to prospect into your company, whatever. If that happens, please let us know. Let our moderators know who that person is. You're not being a rat, you are protecting the environment. And we got a zero tolerance policy for
They
that.
have to do
Now,
that, 'cause so
let
many
me help
companies-
you.
Right.
Not miss a thing. Have you ever watched a movie? You're watching a movie and your spouse,
203.
your buddy just says something to you right when the an important part of the movie happens and then you miss it? Or how about, gentlemen, you're watching the game with your boys and one of your boys just feels like he's got to say something, and while you stand, you turn and you talk to him, you miss the big play. Well, you know what? You don't want to do that here because there's not going to be a replay, right? And you can't hit rewind. So you want to tell your family, you want to tell your friends, you want to tell your pets, leave me alone. Jackson said, until Sunday at 2 p.m. All right? I love that you guys have got your cameras on, and I love that you guys love my singing, right? Thank you, Diana. You said that happened to you, and you're not strangers to my singing. All right, cool. Some of you guys have been here multiple times. You got a Star Achiever background, wear it with pride, and remember that your energy is as important as Mr. Barr's energy. And I just love seeing, our veterans, our folks that just keep coming over and over again. Lewis Barnes, I see you. Shenna, I see you. Justin, I see you. Way to go. Love to see our repeat folks. All right, let's go over the weekend schedule as we wrap this up and we get down to Mr. Bugs. All right, so our schedule of events for the weekend. Today, Friday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central is when we'll start. 12 p.m. Central is when we'll break for lunch. Then we go 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. In the afternoon. Sunday, we have 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with no break. And now here's the deal. That's not the end. Right? After that, some of you guys know that there's another session. There's a meeting after the meeting. It's called VIP Digital, where you get to ask specific questions to Mr. Bugs regarding your business and how to apply what you've learned this weekend. That is the money session, okay? And we will give you opportunities to upgrade to that throughout the weekend. I want to challenge you guys, take advantage of that.
Right.
That session is
no upgrade.
super strong. Yeah. For every one of our sessions, and guess what? When we start, we spin the wheel. And when we spin the wheel, if you are present, we might pick you and spin for you, and you might win a prize. And we have all sorts of great prizes to do. We encourage you guys to take pictures and photos.
What's that, baby?
Let the world know, hey, I am sharpening my axe this weekend with Mr. Bugs. The only thing that we ask is that you do two things. Number one, use hashtag BreakUpBootCamp as you post. And number two, tag at the Holton Bugs Official. And you really want to tag us, because guess what? We'll probably repost you, right? So that would be super cool. So definitely go ahead and do that. We're so excited to have you guys here. And one last thing we want to say, some of you guys may have a need to message our customer support team. The key way to do that, some of you guys are sending stuff the wrong place. You want to send it to holtonbugs.com/support, okay, if you need support. All right, let's put our title slide back up because it is time to transition. You guys have had enough of me. I handled the heavy lifting, I handled the rules. It's kind of like on the award shows where they bring out the attorney to say, okay, here are the rules for their whatever. Okay, that was my job, except I didn't have the fancy suit and the big glasses. All right, but now my next job is more fun than anything because I get to bring up the man himself. And what I want you guys to do is I'm looking at some of you guys and you're looking like, wah, wah, wah. And I can't bring Mr. Bugs into that environment. So we're going to do a practice, and then it's going to be for real. We're going to, on the count of three, out rank up rambunctious, all right? We're going to practice it, and then we're going to do it for real for Mr. Bugs, okay? So on 3, 2, 1, unmute yourselves, wake up. Let's go! Let's go.
She was playing that. Yeah, she was playing that.
But some of you guys were excellent. Some of you guys are extremely reserved. Hey, listen, Linda. This ain't the time to hold back. You know why? Because I know if you were watching some of last weekend's football and you were screaming at the TV and you were play happening, you were like, ah! Well, the happened, you were mad, whatever, but you let it out.
I need a better microphone.
Letting it out for yourself. This is you rooting for yourself. This is you to you. So one more, before we bring in Mr. Bugs, rambunctious on 3. Go! Let's go! That's good. That's really good. But I just love how Shanghai just looks just so composed. She's got like that ultra diva thing going on, but she is the leader of Rank Up Rambunctiousness. I am ready to go, Shanghai. And now it's time for us to welcome living like iconic network marketing leader. You throw it in your chat GPT and ask them who's the greatest networker currently out there alive and building and all that kind of stuff. And chat GPT is going to say, it's Holden Buzz. And so welcome to the stage, not Holden Buzz.
You know it ain't.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Right.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Rank up and checks up. How many of y'all ready to get your checks up? That's what I'm talking about. Let's get these checks up. Let's get these checks up. That's what I'm talking about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am just thrilled today. I appreciate the great introduction that we had. Matter of fact, y'all did it twice. Y'all did it 2 times, all right? Y'all did it 2 times today. And I'm really excited for each and every one of you who happened to be here today. I know we got a lot of people that it is your very first time experiencing the HBism. All right? It's your first time ism. Matter of fact, I just want to see it again. If it's your first time, raise your hand, put a 1 in the chat or something like that. But say it's his first time, don't believe it, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Don't believe it, all right? The chat, let me know.
Yeah, I don't like the sound.
Let me see over here. Raise your hand. Who's that?
So everybody in the thing saying the sound is horrible. Yeah, they said in the chat.
Angela Reed, first time. Sabo can't hear. Undergrad.
Yeah.
Just on a. You're right. She wanted to spin the wheel too. Let's see here. Who else first time? A lot of you first timers out there. Who's it? Orpheus, Abraham, first time. Leno, Dawn, first time. Reginald, first time. Who else is that? Don Christie, Reginald Brown. So many first. Nell, Stephen, Rama, Richard Sabin, Paul, Tavon. Now, it sounds like we got some people who are probably not native to living in America, but these names that I'm hearing, it sounds like Wake Up is starting to spread. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Starting to spread a little bit, right?
Boozer. Carlos Boozer.
Which is wrong for why? Because you know what? International needs to rank up.
I can draw that out with a Sharpie marker.
Up to, and I can tell you one thing: all of this information that we share definitely will be able to be translated. And when I say translated, it transfers in terms of the content of what we're talking about. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited. Let me share with you why I'm excited. I am excited because I happen to be in some of the same seats that you guys are in. That means that I have challenged myself to be stretched. Not stressed, but to be stretched. How many of you understand stretching yourself is a great thing? Okay? Stretching yourself is a great thing. All right? And many of you are going to be stretched this weekend. We've got 3 days. I want to share something with you. If you're here for the very first time, it may seem like it goes by really fast. All right? But have a lot of fun. How many of you know if you can't have fun, you shouldn't do it? If you can't have fun, you should not participate. So, that's one of the rules of engagement that TJ did mention. All right? That if you're not going to have fun, get off the Zoom, like right now. Get off the Zoom, right? Get off the Zoom. And I'm still going to keep the $27. All right? No refunds for not having fun. The only way you get a refund is if you have fun. You can come through 3 days, or actually, you can go through an hour and say, you know what, I don't think this is going to be worth my 3 days. All right? That's when we have something to talk about. But other than that, since we've been doing this, you know what? We've had not one person that I can remember who said, you know, I didn't get my time's worth. I'm not going to even talk about money's worth right now because we actually put this together for you so that you can actually learn what you need to do in order to rank up. We've done probably now about 8 of these, is it 8 of them now? Maybe about 8 of these events that we've done, 7 or 8, somewhere around there. Some of our people who are here, they like Herb and Yvonne and Yvette and several of the other people who are here, they've been here since day one. Sheena's been here since day one. Namdo's been here since day one. Patricia has been here since day one. Ted has been here since day one. We got a lot of day ones who've been here from the very, very beginning as well. And it's like, okay, hold on for a second. These people keep coming back. And the name of the game has been always pretty much the same, and we just changed it from the first it was a summit, then we went from summit, then we went to boot camp, then we went to challenge, we went to big check challenge, and then we went to the 3-day AI challenge. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the thing I want you to understand is this, is that what you're going to experience over this weekend is really going to expand you. It's going to stretch many of you, but what it will do is this. It will treat your mind, it will treat your business, it will treat your thought process like a rubber band. What do I mean by that? How many of y'all know that once you stretch a rubber band and you start to take the elasticity of it and you start to apply tension to that rubber band, that's the purpose of the rubber band. How many of you know it will never go back to its constricted space of where it originally was before you started to stretch it? And that's what we're looking to accomplish this weekend. We call this weekend here the 3-day AI challenge. The 3-day AI challenge. So why am I stretched? Why am I stretched? I've been doing network marketing, ladies and gentlemen, for 3.5 decades. That's right. Started when I was 3. Okay? Started when I was 3, all right? And I can't give out all the goods. People are like, hold on, how do you look like you can't have been doing network marketing for 3.5 decades? When you start when you're 3, you can, right? You can. I happened to be on a call the other day. Many of you know I digress quite often. I was on a call the other day, and Thomas and I was on a call. This guy from New York, I mean, he was just going at us like crazy. It was like one of the most weird, bizarre calls we've ever been on. And he's like, listen here, buddy, I know, you look like you're about 32 years old, whatever. And I was sitting there smiling, and Thomas was just sitting there like, but anyway, so 3.5 decades I've been doing network marketing. And yes, started when I was 3. And here's the thing I want to share with you. I want to share with you that I am excited that I have been involved in network marketing for 3.5 decades. However, 3.5 decades brings you something. It brings you back to remember the old days, those type of conversations. So I can have some of these conversations about network marketing that some of you would be absolutely amazed. And I'm going to kind of give you a little timeline of some of the things that we do in network marketing today that you have not experienced before. What we used to do way back in what we call the 1900s, all right? The 1900s, all right? So hopefully my sound is really good. Pia, what's up? Pia McLean, the CyberWise days. Eat your crust first. That's right, girl. I saw your name up there, and I was like, I didn't see the photo, but I saw your name up there. The CyberWise days. Absolutely, yes indeed. Well, listen. Here's the thing I want to share with you about some of the things that we did in the old, and what we call the 1900s or the olden days, is how many of you right now, if you want to go and take a look at your organization, you go to your phone and you go to your laptop, and what you do is you log in, and in your back office in your company, you hit a button that says genealogy or organization report.
And right then and there, you can see all the people that you personally sponsored, and you can see the people that they personally sponsored, and you can see, and then if
So
you
this
got a
ain't new.
large enough organization, you can click and you can turn the page, and you can click and you can turn the. How many of y'all, right? How many of y'all have that type of technology today? Now, I'm going to share with you some things so that you'll understand the foundation of what this weekend is going to be about. This weekend is going to be about advancement. See, back when I got started in network marketing, if you wanted your genealogy, if you wanted your organization, you first of all, you did not go to a computer and click on it because there was no software that actually would hold your organization. Here's how you got your genealogy if you had one. You would pick up the phone or you would send a fax. Not F-A-C-T-S, F-A-X. You would send a fax or pick up the phone, call customer service and say, hi, this is Holton Bugs. Listen, I'm a distributor. Here's my ID number. And I'm going to give you my credit card or I will be sending a check because I would like.
Uh-oh.
Somebody else is training too. I'm interested in what they have to say. Maybe they're making more money than we are, guys. Let's listen to them. All right? There we go.
Wow,
Anyway,
just wow.
You pick up the phone, you say, hey, listen, I'm going to send you a check. Anybody ever know what a check is these days? Right? Not a check card. I'm going to write you a check. I'm going to put it in the mailbox. And what I want to order is I like to order my genealogy.
Wow.
And sometimes for those of us who had large organizations, or if you were fortunate enough to build a large organization, they would actually send you a huge ream of paper, looking like you're just coming out of Office Depot buying copier paper,
Wow.
your printer paper, and your entire organization would be on the little, you guys remember the perforated edges with the holes in them?
Wow.
And that would be your genealogy. And by the time it got to you, it was already outdated because the people that you had sponsored within the last 2 weeks were not on there because it took them a while to print it out, and you would get it in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And guess what I want to share with you during that time? During that time, ladies and gentlemen, do you know that there were people making millions of dollars in network marketing? Millions of dollars. Okay? As I said, yeah, it's called a dot matrix printer, right, by IBM. The dot matrix printer. I remember when they came out with LaserJet printers. It was like the newest thing. It was like, wow, LaserJet, right? But anyway, back then, that's how network marketing was. And today, all you do is you go into your back office, you click a button, and there you go. Your genealogy, you can see. You can see your report, you can see your commission, you can see it all. Back then, in the 1900s, how did we place orders? The way we place orders is everybody couldn't place an order directly from the company. They would choose one person in your organization that was a certain rank, typically called a director. This is where we get the director ranks from, because the company would work directly with those particular individuals. And those individuals were responsible for supplying all the products to their team. We had something called product pickup days that we had. The way we wanted to order product, we didn't just go on our phone, click a button, and order product. What we did is we picked up our phone and we called our sponsors or our upline voicemail. And when we left a message, we would leave a message and we would read off all of the ID numbers, the description, and the quantities and the price of each item that we want. And the next thing you know, if your organization, here's how you got really excited back then. You would get really excited if your upline's voicemail ran out of message space, then you knew your group was going, because you'd have to call back and say, here is part 2 of my order.
Wow.
Part 2. I never forget when I had a part 2.
Exactly.
It meant that I was ranking up way before rank up. What happens is this. You as the director or you as the upline, you take every single person who is directly direct to you, and they will call in all of their orders plus their team orders, and you have to sit there and listen to every order and write them down manually and combine all of those orders, and then the director who actually placed that order with the company.
Wow.
And then what happens a week later? You have product pickup. Those people who place their orders with you will come to you and actually pick up their products. You say, how did they get paid for? You have to pay for everybody's products in your organization
Wow.
before they even got them and before they paid you. It was a huge responsibility to build network marketing in the very beginning. And they actually come over to your house and you have to have a place for them to come, write your check. And we would always tell people, please don't bring us any U.S. Michelin checks. Anybody know what a U.S. Michelin check is?
They bounce.
A check that bounces, okay? Don't bring any U.S. Michelin checks, right? And I'm sharing this with you because I want to give some of the people who are on here who are probably brand new to network marketing, I want you to know, I want you to understand that times have actually evolved. The times in network marketing have evolved. We would go and we would write our name, we would write our checks to our upline. They would sit there and they would actually pray over the checks and make sure that all of the checks were good because money had to be good with the company. And that was the ordering process. That was the ordering process.
Wow.
Going to events were pretty much the same as the way that they are now, except we didn't have any online events. We didn't have back then. We didn't have conference calls. Conference calls was a thing that came around in the late 1900s or late 1999s. 1999, 2000 was the first people started doing conference calls to do presentations. And the next thing you know, here we are today. Here we are today, whereas all the person has to do is pick up the phone right now, and they can click a button, order a product, and actually have their product delivered to them within about 2 to 3 days, and in some cases, you can have your product delivered overnight, depending on which company you have. Today, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted your organization, you can click a button right here on your phone, and you can actually see your organization. You can actually send a screenshot, or you can send it directly to a printer, or whatever it is, or you can download your entire genealogy.
Yep.
Okay? And no matter how big or no matter how small it is, you can download it right to your phone. Now, why is this important? This is really important because many of us, one of the things that we resist is change. Many of you who are on this call right now, regardless of who you are, we resist change. Change is something that is abnormal to us as humans. Our bodies and our brains are actually designed to keep us comfortable. Our brain says, new information, no, you don't want new information. We will accept as much new information, and we have the most opportunity to actually download more information than any computer that's ever been designed and built. But our brains are designed, and our system that we have internally is designed to keep us comfortable. And so when somebody says there is a new way to do something, the first thing that the majority of us do is we resist. We resist. The majority of inventions that have actually come into this world, specifically into America, have been opposed with violent opposition in terms of why it's going to be detrimental to us. At one point in time, do you know that there were no telephones? There were no phones at one point in time. That was Alexander Graham Bell, along with some other people that he had some help with, who developed and got credit for the telephone. You know what the main thing that they said about the telephone and why they went on campaigns, and they campaigned against the telephone. They picketed against the telephone. They did not want this new technology to come to America. It was going to sweep through communities, and they said, these things, this devil called the telephone, it's now going to allow you to have communication with other people, and you will not be able to see their faces, and people will be able to lie to you. It's going to ruin America. And they picked it. And they almost got the telephone banned. Thank goodness there was enough people who understood the benefits of new technology and said, listen, this is going to allow us to communicate from abroad. This is going to allow us to communicate with people who are on a different coastline. And the next thing you know, we'll be able to communicate with people who are overseas, and you don't have to worry about the telegrams anymore. We'll have the telephone. I'm bringing this to you so that you'll understand. I want you to start loosening up. throughout this process? How many of you right now, you've been that type of person? How many of you, years ago, you said, during this thing, before, when we used to order products, we ordered products before by either going to the store or all of your Christmas stuff came from the Sears catalog. How many of you remember the Sears catalog? Fred, you remember that? Fred? The Sears catalog, right? And they go through these catalogs and you pick out your Christmas gifts, and next thing you know, mom would get on the phone and pick up that phone, there's no internet, pick up that phone and place the orders and say, this is what we're gonna get. Then they came out with this thing said called e-commerce. E-commerce? What do you mean e-commerce? E-commerce, yes, they will have shopping malls online. And I remember the very first time I received a phone call about an online shopping mall, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it. This is back in 1990. I'm sorry, not 1990. This was back in 1999. I got a phone call from a guy. He said, listen, how would you like to own your own shopping mall online? And I'm like, what are you talking about? How would you like to own your own? And all I'm thinking about is, hold on for a second, these malls cost tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to build. How am I going to own a shopping mall online? He says, listen, you can get 3 of them for $1,000. I'm sitting there puzzled. What are you talking about? My brain didn't even understand it. And I was so intrigued, but I was so afraid, and I was so scared, but I was also excited. Why? Because he said I can own my own mall, and I never forget, here's where the tipping point came. He says, and you can name your mall too. I had my own 3 malls, and my mall was, I had the Gucci Mall, the Fendi Mall, and I also had the Fila Mall. I named them.
Fila.
They said, once you name them, nobody in the world can ever name their mall what yours is. And I'm sitting there, wow, this is amazing. E-commerce came. And during this time of e-commerce, there were several of you, and if it wasn't you, maybe it was your mother or maybe it was your grandmother who said, baby, I'll never put my credit card on the internet, not me. No, I'll never, because they're going to take everything I got. Right? Anybody remember that? I will never put my credit card on they didn't call it the internet. The internet, it was the internet. Right?
Internet. Mm-hmm.
It was the internet.
Oh,
I'm never putting my credit card on the internet. And around that same time, it was the same philosophy of bottled water coming around. And hold on for a second.
Bottled water.
Pay for water? I will never pay for bottled water.
I remember that.
Now today,
I said that before too.
You go to somebody's house and they offer you a drink. If they go to their kitchen sink and actually turn on the spigot and let the water run and offer you some of their water, you would think that they're actually asking you to leave their home. Because no one drinks unfiltered water anymore.
you damn right.
Right.
Why do I go through all of these stories? Why do I share all of this information? I go through all of these stories and I share information to let you know that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how young you are, no matter how experienced you may be, the momentum of change is something that you will never be able to defeat. You will never be able to defeat.
Right. Change is coming.
Now, I remember saying to myself, this online stuff, it's a fad. It's coming in and it's going to leave very quickly. When I look at it today, everything that we do, and everything that I thought that would actually be a fad, not only is here, it's here to stay. And so, I'm here to also tell you that the way that we will actually do business will continue to change. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that AI is not coming.
It's here.
AI has already arrived. And you are the one who's late. You're not waiting on AI. AI is actually waiting on you. And so for many of you who are still stuck in the yesteryears, I won't say which years, but you're still stuck in the yesteryears, this event here is really designed to loosen you up, to let you know that it's okay, and who better to actually bring a new philosophy of a trend or a new philosophy of a new direction, an evolution in how business is going to be done, an evolution in how commerce will actually be sustained and grown. It's through the advent and invention of modern technology, better known today as AI. And so I want you to buckle up, and the thing I want you to understand is this, is that AI is not here to replace you. AI is actually here to assist you. We call it artificial intelligence for a reason. Because number one, AI is not smarter than you. AI does not have the capabilities that you have as a human brain. The only thing is this, is that you have not tapped into, and nor do you even understand how to tap into the full potential of your brain, your mind, and who it is that you are. AI is just much faster than you. AI is just much more disciplined than you. AI has much more, I would say, staying power than you do. Right? And AI never complains. It never takes a break. It never asks for an insurance plan. It never asks for a coffee break. It never asks for anything. It will only accept what you instruct it to do, and it will perform as a reflection of who it is that you are. And so I want you to understand this. Some of you have already thought that AI and robotics have come to take your jobs, and they will. They won't replace you, but they will replace the labor force in some cases. And what we're going to do this weekend is we're going to show you some of the things that are.
Look at his beard, babe.
And then later on, offer you a way to even
Look at that beard.
so that you'll understand how to master all the evolution and master the change that's actually been taking place. At the end of the day, I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel comfortable that you are still in charge. You are still in charge. With AI, you're probably thinking, HP, that means that I don't have to do personal development because AI is going to do everything at some point in time. Oh,
nope.
gosh. It won't ever replace that. I want you to remember your AI is only going to be as artificially intelligent as the intelligence of you who's able to communicate. The number one thing that I want you to understand is this here. What's going to be required of you in this new age? What's going to be required of you? There's one thing that I want to share with you that's really going to be required of you is that you're going to have to shift your mindset for the new era. You're going to have to shift your mindset for this new era. How many of y'all ready for the mind shift? Okay. Keisha says she's ready. Richard's ready over there. Okay. Lewis is ready over there. Quite a few people who's ready over there. The thing that you're going to have to do is this here, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to understand this. Diana's ready over here. Everybody's in the chat. Herb is ready. Tarshan's ready. Gregory's ready. Okay. Nancy, he's born ready. Right. The thing I want you to understand when it comes to this new era of network marketing is I want you to pause for a moment. And I want you to breathe. Okay? I want you to pause and I want you to breathe. Because some of you, I can look at some of your backgrounds and you're like, I can tell you're already nervous right now. You're like, oh, you know, I've been in the same house, man, since the 40s. And you talking about AI. Listen, it's going to be okay. I'm letting you know that. The thing I want you to understand is you're actually going to have to get, that you will that's going to be required of you is your communication skills. Okay? Your communication skills. I want to talk to you about your value and how you're going to be able to extract value in the marketplace, because there's 4 levels of value that I want you to understand. Okay? 4 levels of value that I want you to understand. And that first level of value is what we call implementation. And implementation just simply means the ability to take an idea or the ability to take instructions and implement those particular instructions. I'm going to share with you where the money is right now. I'm going to share with you how each and every one of you now, every one of you right now, no matter where you are, I want you to understand that you are in the right seat. Okay? You are in the driver's seat right now, and the transfer of wealth that's actually taking place, it is absurd. Today, as I was actually just sitting, doing some reading and listening, I saw something today that really amazed me. And I saw something that I'll share with you most likely tomorrow or Sunday as we start talking about it. We're going to get into the social selling part. I'm not going to talk about that now, but I saw something where AI combined with social selling took one young man, and within 2 hours, they sold over $13 million worth of product, and it wasn't even them. They had nothing to do with it. $13 million in product in a few hours, and they also entertained live questions, and they were not even present. And so if you're wondering whether or not there's money to be made, there's more money to be made now in network marketing than ever before. More money to be made in network marketing than ever before. But implementation is one of the first ways that you're going to earn money. Now, here's the thing about implementation. When that's the highest level of value that you have, implementation, it simply means that you're going to get paid now as a laborer. Some of you probably remember when I gave the examples of maybe, a person, let's just say, for example, at McDonald's. The implementation guy is a person who's sitting there on burgers or fries. Guess what he does? He actually gives a set of instructions. He says, hey, listen, these fries, what you're going to do is you're going to take these potatoes, open the bag, dump them in the basket there. The button is already, when the button goes red, that means the temperature of the grease is already at a certain temperature. You take that basket, turn it over, dump those fries in there. When the alarm goes off, what you do is you take that basket, lift it up, take the salt, shake it 4 times, and then throw them over here in the stainless steel container. That's called implementation. That is implementation. There's different levels of implementation. But implementation is the lowest level of value because that's where we work typically just with our hands. We actually use a lot of muscle. We use a lot of our physical capital through implementation. Right? Through implementation. And when we do that, what happens is we're limited. How are we limited? When you're working from a value of implementation, you're limited to what? Time and space. That means typically you've got 24 hours within a day, of which 6 to 8 of them you're going to be asleep, of which a few of them you're going to be driving, of which a few of them you're going to be waiting in line in some capacity or whatever it is, or in traffic. Which means there's only going to leave a certain amount of hours that you're able to practice implementation, which means your income is limited. One of the reasons that many of you right now have got involved in network marketing because you recognize no one taught me about the 4 levels of value. I've been an implementer for my whole life, and this is why implementers typically only receive a paycheck. That's what I was taught when I was a kid. And then they teach you to go to school so you can get a better education. And then what happens, you can now move from implementation to supervision. To supervision. Okay. When you move from implementation to supervision, what happens is your income goes up. Your income actually goes up. Why? Because now I have the second level of value that I am able to exercise. So my pay goes up because I am the supervisor of all of those who are implementing. I am the supervisor. It's the second level of value that's assigned when it comes to economics. So, the guys who on fries, I'm going to manage the guys who on fries. I'm going to manage the people who on Big Macs. I'm going to manage the guys who are over here on foreign drinks. I'm also going to manage the guys who are over here making sure that they clean up, mop the floor, clean up all the stainless steel. And what they're going to do is they're going to pay me probably an extra $2 per hour. Why? Because my skill set is a little better than just being able to operate from implementation. I've got a supervisory skill set. It means that I have learned to communicate and relate to other people. Now, I want you guys to pay attention because everything that I'm sharing with you right now relates to how we're going to address this AI monster, or this AI friend. Let me call it the AI friend, because some of you are already afraid. Oh, the boogie monster, AI. AI is our friend, okay? And so when you actually operate from the second level of value, which is being a supervisor, now what happens is your income goes up, you're able to do a little bit more. Why? Because you have learned a certain level of skills of being able to deal with, either manage or lead people. Manage or lead people. When you operate from the second level, which is supervision, okay? Supervision.
What do you like it at?
You make more money.
On my page.
How many of you have been a project lead at your job? You could be an engineer, the engineer may be an implementer, and then you may have a supervisor or a manager or a project manager.
Well, evidently they either friends or followers of you.
Paid a little bit more money.
And let you tag me in something.
Is that because you have a higher skilled implementation job,
I'm getting less and less people that know me.
the supervisor gets paid a little bit more money as well. At the same time, you're still limited on how much money you can earn. You're limited on how much money you can actually earn, and the supervisors are obviously limited on how much money that they can earn as well. Why? Because the implementers are only able to implement for a certain period of time, so their supervisory role only lasts for a certain period of time. 4 levels of value. First one is implementation, second one is supervision. The third one is communication. Communication. Communication.
And you know what? I ain't right now.
Once you get to communication, the difference between the
second one was supervision.
Communication and supervision.
Implementation.
Is drastic.
I'm over here taking crazy notes.
Absolutely drastic.
Implementation, what was the second one?
Supervision.
HB, how did you actually learn the skills of being able to build such a large organization that 3 million people at one point in time was through your organization over 57 countries all around the world, and you've actually generated millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of sales volume, or billions of sales volume? How were you able to do that and earn the right to be the #1 earning network marketer in the world? It wasn't because of implementation. It wasn't because of supervision. It was because of communication. It was because of communication. The thing that I want you to understand is this. Right now, I got an audience of a couple hundred people that's here. There is a specific reason that those of you, even those of you who are brand new, this is your very first time, there was an ad that you probably saw. Whether it was a still ad or whether it was a video ad, there was something compelling about that information that appealed to your specific need for you to say, you know what? Whatever it is that they're talking about, it's something that is urgent, or important to me, I must be there. So that meant that the number of people who are here on a Friday night who says, listen, I should be out watching a football game, Friday night lights, I could be here, I could be at a party, I could be at a club, I could be doing whatever, but I choose to be here. But why I can choose to be anywhere, but why am I here? Because the person that I'm going to listen to, and you didn't say this, but your inner voice has said it. He is an excellent communicator. And the reason that you're here, the reason that I will hold your attention, and the reason that some of you who came to my free webinar, I gave you 90 minutes of precise execution when it came to communication. And that translated that this guy knows something that can actually eliminate my pain, bring something of benefit to me, or there's a promise of the future that I believe that I can accomplish if I'm attached to him or if I learn from him. And here's what I want you to know. That multiple people will actually come from miles around, and you know what they will do? They'll do the exact
I didn't realize he had a chalk
thing
line.
that each one of you did. They'll take out their credit card.
Anybody who beard that
They'll
straight,
sign
know
up.
that time.
They'll take their cash. They'll pay it at the registration desk. When you become an excellent communicator, you now are in control of your own cash flow. I want you to understand one of the next waves of currency is communication. Well, HB, I don't have the courage to stand in front of a camera the way that you do. No one said that you have to. No one said that you have to. By a show of hands, how many of you were not last week, but 2 weeks ago? How many of you actually showed up on my weekly free webinar 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Harsha, you were there, right? Okay, Karen, you were there. Marcel, you were there. Guess who was not there? Marcel, me. You said, well, hold on for a second. Bro, you were there. I saw you live. I joined. I volunteered for this thing here because you were there. I was sitting there at the funeral, and I was communicating through technology of how many people were actually listening to me, and how many people actually booked the call, how many people wanted to know more information, how many people were going to be following up with. I knew who wanted to spin the wheel because I was sitting there at my friend's funeral, and I'm sitting there, and it's ding, 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 everybody who was booking appointments.
This is what we need to do, so we ain't got to do
Right. Exactly.
We'll show you through this weekend how in short order you're going to be.
And then we kick in just for the question and answer.
Communication skills are going to have to be there. When you take a look at it from communication skills, let's look at some of the most highest paid people that you know. Some of the highest paid people that you know are excellent communicators. Let's look at singers, rappers, those who are in the entertainment business. When you look at people like Denzel Washington, when you look at people like, what's the lady's name who was on, what's the lady's name who was on How to Get Away with Murder? The actress, her and Denzel did a movie called Fences together. When you look at Viola Davis, just thank you, Viola Davis. When you look at people like Oprah Winfrey, who was a communicator. When you look at people like Judge Judy, okay, you look at I'm just thinking, these names are just coming to my head for no particular reason. Why do these people get paid so much money? Judge Judy is the #1 earner on daytime television, period. Why? Because she is an excellent communicator. Why is Oprah Winfrey a multi-billionaire? Because Oprah Winfrey became an excellent communicator. And when you look at her right now in terms of what she's been able to do, why is she where she is? Because not only is she a great orator
Michael
and
will never make no
communicator.
money.
She is an incredible listener,
Michael, that's why
which
he'll
makes
never
her
make no
an
money.
even better
He can't communicate.
and even better communicator. When you look at all the news anchors right now today, these people are making millions of dollars per year. Why? Because they have mastered the art of
You
communication.
said what now?
You may go out
You
after
go from
that.
implementation to supervision to communication. And once you become an excellent communicator and you understand the art form of communication, and here's the thing I want you to understand, for those of you who are saying, I am not college educated in communications, don't worry about that. Neither am I. Neither am I. I don't have a college degree. How many of y'all know I was on a whole different plan? That plan that said that you, when I was finished, that's when I was done with college. When I said I was finished, I was done.
Exactly.
That's the plan that I
Say
was.
it again, sir.
The thing that I want you to understand is this: in this brand new age, there's shortcuts and there's ways for you to actually learn how to be an excellent communicator, and for you to have a representation of excellent communication as well.
I just got it
So
yesterday.
Take a look at singers. Why was Michael Jackson? Why is Celine Dion? Why was Elvis? Why was Sam Cooke? Why, who? Luther Vandross and some of the greats that I'm talking about. And I don't want Diana Ross and whoever it is that you want to think about. Why are they? When you look at Jay-Z, regardless of some of the other things that you have with many of these people, but excellent communication skills. Excellent communication skills. Why are these guys revered and some of the wealthiest people out there? Because the message that they want to get across, they were able to get a message across to millions of people around the world and made those people feel something at the end of the day. When you see my ad, you feel something. There's something inside of you that I stir up with what it is that I'm saying. And the thing I want you to know, it's intentional.
Of course.
Not by accident.
Of course.
It's intentional. And so when we start to take a look at where those 4 levels of value start to go, how many of you now can understand communication pretty much puts the ticket in your hand? You now have the stroke of the pen and the checkbook. You now have the ability to write your own ticket. And if you're going to survive, and if you're going to thrive, not only survive, but if you're going to thrive in this industry of direct sales, specifically in a new direction that it's going, you're going to have to at least understand. You're going to have to understand. Tyler Perry, I'm looking at some James Brown, Whitney Houston. How can I forget Whitney Houston? I told you, I'll forget a lot. There's a lot of them. Okay? LL Cool J, my favorite rapper. Okay? But they were excellent communicators. Communication, somebody said here, Craig Humphrey says communication is key. His dad told him communication is key. And when you learn how to articulate, when you learn how to communicate, communication is not necessarily what I sound like. Most of you think communication is what I sound like, the resonance in my voice and the words that I'm using. No. Communication, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing I want you to understand about communication. Communication, the art of communication, is not making sure that you are understood when you are talking to your audience. The art of communication is making sure that your audience feels like you're heard. And there's so many different ways to communicate. What's the girl who made the song called Bodak Yellow?
Cardi B.
Cardi B, when she was probably on Hip Hop and Love, or Love and Hip Hop, whatever it is, Love and Hip Hop, probably didn't appear to be the most articulate, the most intelligent person that was there. And I'm not knocking her whatsoever, but when she
definitely
made
not
that
articulate.
song, Bodak Yellow, she communicated something to the masses of women and some men they felt heard by her. And that song became number 1 for a reason. It's not about always this professional, articulate, boardroom type talk. I'm talking about the ability to use words so that when you reach into a person's soul, they feel like you hear and understand who they are. That's when you become an excellent communicator, and every single one of you now, there's an unfair advantage for you to be able to do that. Some of you right now may not even be, probably not here, but there's a possibility for some of you to know someone who can't read or write. But because of today and what we're going to be discussing this weekend, that person can become a multi-millionaire.
He's somewhere else right now?
Who are at the top of the scholastic list here. What I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is that everything that we're talking about, there's a whole new playing field. The playing field is completely level now. It is completely level. Okay? That anybody, but I mean anybody, you don't have to know how to read in order to be a great communicator anymore. You just don't have to. You look at some of the biggest pastors in the world. Which pastors right now are picking up the biggest collection checks? I mean, the biggest, picking up the biggest collections.
Marvin Winans.
And those collection plates. It's those pastors who have a great.
I asked for 2,000, not 1,200.
Not the ones who know the Bible the most. It's the ones who've been able to communicate in an articulate way where when they speak, the people leave there and here's what they're saying. Pastor was talking to me. That's where we are today. In the fourth level. So at the third level, we're talking about people who are making 10, 15, $20 million a year and more.
So communication third. So
You're like, hold on for a second. If those people are making that, communicators are making that, how can people get more money than that? There's a fourth level of value that the marketplace will respond to. And that's called the thinker. The thinker. I want you to understand that everything revolves around, when you come to that fourth level of value, are those who are able to process information and think. Thank you, Lynn, for putting that up there. Implementation, supervision, communication, and the thinker. When you become the thinker and are able to think your way through issues, what you'll notice is that there's no limit and there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling on what your earning potential is and can be. It is completely unlimited. Completely unlimited. So as we understand those four levels of value, I want you to start understanding implementation is not going to be the key of how you're going to actually become a multi-millionaire or make yourself $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month in network marketing on a residual basis. Now that you know that the playing field is now level, I want you to start actually increasing the level of your goals, because the way that you're going to be able to process and get this information, you'll understand, hold on for a second, I have more tools available to me now to allow me to be smarter, to allow me to be faster, to allow me to be more articulate, more communicative, to allow me to have more reach broad around the entire world than ever before. There was no such thing when I got involved in network marketing of having an international seamless organization. It just didn't exist. It just didn't exist. You pretty much stayed primarily in your city, and once you started making more money, you could actually go build a group in another state.
So,
There
baby?
was no way to communicate with them. There was no way to train them and lead them whatsoever. So the majority of the money was made on a local basis. Today, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here can be global. Everyone here can be global. But the ideas that you are now being able to download, the thoughts that you're able to download is going to be in direct proportion, or your pay that you have is going to be in direct proportion to the quality of the thing.
What you looking for?
And so the thing that I want you to understand is this: is AI cannot think and download and create from nothing. It has to have someone someone has to initiate that process. And there's no more brilliant minds than the minds that we have right here on on this Zoom here. When you get to that level of understanding how to use this and how to think through processes, this is what we're going to be doing this entire weekend. I know many of you probably thought you were going to come here and I'm going to solve every single problem for you, and we're going to just turn on the AI spigot. You don't have to do anything. And next thing you know, AI is going to be doing every single thing after this event for you in your business. Well, it can be, but that's not my role. I'm not going to do that for you today. It can do that, but what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen your thought process and your thinking skills. And when we sharpen your thinking skills, then you're going to be able to use everything that we're talking about. Let's go here and talk about something in network marketing, what I call the old way versus the new way. Thinking in network marketing. Why did I put thinking? Because it is the highest level of value that's out there. Okay. I want to make sure y'all still with me, right? I haven't lost any of y'all, right? Okay. I haven't lost you yet. Highest level of value is thinking. Old way versus the new way. Thinking in network marketing. The old way of thinking in network marketing was chasing people. Making long prospect lists of friends and family and cold markets and messaging them. Now, here's the
We're
thing
still
I want
doing
you to
that.
understand. I am not here, and I want to be very clear by saying this. I am not here telling you that what worked 20 years ago doesn't work today. That's not what I'm saying. What I want you to do, for those of you who are brand new, and I'm going to kind of ease you in here, here's what the goal is. Here's what our goal is. I want you to write this down. Okay? I want you to write this down. Mitchell, this is for you. When we start this, Mitchell, okay? As we start this, I don't want you to abandon what you know. Because what you do know has a lot of value. I want you to understand, Mitchell, I made a lot of people a lot of money doing it the old-fashioned way, which still does work. So what the goal is this. We're going to take your organization and your time, and we're going to make a pie chart. And as we make that pie chart, we're going to have a section of that pie chart that says, initially the goal is 25% of what I am doing over the next 90 days. I want 25% of my efforts coming from the new way. All right? Why is this important? This is important, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to understand that some of you are so quick to abandon what's already working or abandoning something. Why? Because we always think new means faster, quicker, easier, and most times it does, but we must get to a point of what? Mastery. We must get to a point of mastery. The thing that I want to do, that we will do this weekend, is we're going to remove all the noise. How many of you have felt so overwhelmed when you hear AI? It just feels like the AI ship is just swallowing you up. You don't even know where to start. What do they mean, AI? Where should I start? What tools are available? How do I use it? How do I apply it? How does this work in network marketing? What can I use this for? I saw this on Instagram. It sounded really cool, but how can I apply that to network marketing? I don't understand. How many of you been feeling like that? Okay, Todd, join the club. Many of us, that's how I felt in the beginning. When I used to hear about e-commerce, I'm like, how can I apply e-commerce to my business? Didn't understand it. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all of the noise, okay? And what we're going to do is edit the entire AI industry, and we're going to now narrow the focus, bring everybody right into sync so you'll understand, oh, this is how I use this. Here is how I use this. Here is how I use this. And what's going to happen is this. As you take 25% of your business over the next 60 to 90 days, and you're going to take 25% of your efforts, and it's going to be driven towards the new way, and the goal is over the next 90 days after that, it should be moving more towards 40 to 50%. Mm-hmm. And then here's what's going to happen. By the time you get to 40 to 50%, then you will actually, through mentoring and coaching, you will know when to say, hold on for a second, I think I need to go a little bit more this way. But I do not want any of you thinking that wow, I'm gonna leave, this right here solves every single problem today and I'm gonna make $20 million this month. No, that's not the goal. The goal is to give you to get you ahead of the curve so that you're not left behind. That's what the goal is I don't want you to be left behind. You're going to leave here feeling so much more confident. You're going to leave here feeling so much more at peace because we're going to talk about some things that you've probably heard of, that you don't know of, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. It makes sense now. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're adding to your educational portfolio. That's what we're doing. We're not replacing anything right now. We're adding to your educational portfolio.
Somebody put high touch, high tech in the
chasing
in the chat.
is never the way to build a business. Making a list is always good.
So everybody looking at the same stuff.
That somebody in your family is going to be on social media today. Raise your hands. If you believe somebody in your family is on social media. How many of you believe one of your coworkers probably right now is scrolling?
Absolutely.
Okay? How many of you believe somebody who's in your neighborhood right now might be on social media at this moment right now? Mm-hmm. So, if you know for a fact they're on social media, if you know for a fact they are scrolling, if you know for a fact that they are somewhere on the internet doing something, doesn't it make sense that if you know them and you know how to craft a message, that you put them on the list to introduce them to your new business before somebody else's AI companion brings them into their business? Mm-hmm. So all of this hogwash of, well, I don't need to build a list of names of friends, family, and relatives. Why not? The only reason for people having this aversion to friends, family, and relatives is because you mismanage the expectations and you mismanage the invites. And when you call them, they can feel the sleeves right off of their shirt after you get off the phone because of how you've done it. What if you knew exactly what to say to a relative who's been in network marketing 3 times and lost their shirt? But you knew exactly what they needed to hear. That's the way we use AI. Because here's what you've been doing. How many of you feel like you've been saying the same thing to every single person that you talk to because you learned one single script and you thought it was a silver bullet script and it should fit everybody?
Nope.
Anybody ever fell into that trap? I did. I fell into that trap thinking that this right here was, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
What I'm going to show you how to do this weekend is how to shortcut it and how every single person that you talk to, I'm going to show you very simple methodologies of exactly what you should say, whether it's written, whether it's verbal, whether it's digital, to every single person, because now we have more information than we ever have on people, and more information that we have on people, the more you can actually control or influence their decision making. That's what this is all about. We're in the information age, baby. We are. We are in the information age. Here's the thing I want you to understand. Those algorithms, how many of y'all feel like the algorithms have been chasing you? Mm-hmm. Anybody ever feel like you open up, man, these algorithms chasing me. They're trying to make me want this, and they're trying to make me want that. And raise your hands if you felt like that. Or put a 1 in the chat. Do something. Show me some love. If you feel like every time you pick up Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is that you're watching, Facebook, and all the stuff that's coming your way, you're like, hold on for a second. Mark Zuckerberg, they keep sending this stuff. These algorithms are trying to make me like this or make me like that. You ever felt that way? Mm-hmm. Do you know that's the old network? That's the old algorithms. Do you know? Where the algorithm is today? You are the algorithm. There's no such thing as the algorithm is chasing me. You are the algorithm. Right now, you are the algorithm. Right now, if you're sitting at a computer and your phone is sitting there right now next to you, your phone can hear my voice right now. Here's what I can guarantee you. Before you go to bed tonight, if you decide to scroll a little bit tonight, here's what's going to happen in your first 5 posts. In your first 5 posts, something is going to pop up about some type of AI tool. Why? Because they keep hearing me talk about it over and over and over.
Yep.
When my phone is off. Newsflash, your phone is never off.
Right.
Even when it's off, it's not off. Your camera is never off. It hears everything. Why is it that you can be in your house, everything's supposed to be off, but then you can say, Alexa, play music. If she's off, she shouldn't hear you. Which means she hears everything. So some of y'all wonder why when you scroll, they hear it all. Just letting you know. There is no such thing as privacy anymore. Eh?
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Richard said, stop scaring everybody. Put your phone in the freezer. Okay. It's to the point, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing I want you to understand. It's to the point now, and I'm sharing this with you here, because we're going to go over this in my next segment here that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the fear in the next segment, but not right now. The thing I want you to understand, when it comes to AI, when it comes to information, I want you to understand where this is all coming from. It's all, the foundation of this is all about being able to understand and dissect information. This is why so many people are competing for your data. Because some of you have been wondering, why do these people want my data? And why is my information so important to them? Because the more information you know about someone, the more you can pretty much control or influence what their decisions are going to be. Information is key. The people that I told you made $13 million in a couple of hours, here's one of the things that they did. They actually implemented over 1,200 gestures from a camera standpoint, so that when they played their video that wasn't them, it looked so natural. Over 1,200 gestures of what was even possible to do, but they only had to do it one time. They put thousands of combinations of questions in place so that as they opened it up for questions, the thousands and tens of thousands of questions that they were able to program in, one time they did it, only one single time. Now it can have a conversation with any of their customers live, sound just like them, look just like them, and they can be out somewhere on the beach and do $13 million in business in 2 hours.
Wow.
Why? Because of the data. The data. Every time you turn your camera on or put your phone on, I want you to understand your camera's looking you in the eye. And your camera now has a connection between being able to read your mental decision making through your iris, and now it makes suggestions based off what it believes you're thinking. How many of you have ever been thinking of something? You didn't even say it, you didn't search it, but because you thought about it long enough, you went to your screen, and the next thing you know, hold on for a second. Why is this popping up? I was only thinking about this.
Yeah.
So this is not here to frighten you. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm here to let you know that this is the world that you live in today. Now, if I'm sharing all of this, here's what I want you to do. I want you to step out of being you. Because when you're afraid, when you're thinking about you, now what you're doing is you're not only being a consumer, you're a customer. You are a customer. I want you to be able to move away from being a customer. I want you to step out. Our whole goal now, when we start the next session, our whole goal is when we go from the old way to the new way, I want you to retire your customer hat and say, let me take off my customer hat, right? Let me put my customer hat up and let me be now the business owner hat. Let me become the thinker. So chasing people, making long prospect lists was one thing that we have to do. Hotel meetings and home parties was the way that we expanded the business. So you go to Denny's or IHOP and you do, or Starbucks.
Denny's and IHOP.
Okay, and you do one-on-one presentations with people, or hotel meetings. All right. Does hotel meetings still work? Absolutely. Conferences are being held all over the world. They are. Are there less hotel meetings happening right now? Yes. But do they work? Yes. Why do hotel meetings work? Anybody know why hotel meetings work? Put it in the chat if you know why hotel meetings or home meetings work, or meetings
people
or
excited.
gatherings with other people. Why does it still work?
Get them around the
Share with me
energy.
difference
Yeah.
of why you want to still use both, but what's the purpose of being able to use some of the new stuff here? Let me see here. Somebody says human connection, it's intimate, it's personal, community, energy, human connection, it's belly to belly, face to face, human interaction, okay? Group dynamics, man, it's a lot. You know what, first of all, I want to give you guys, T. Gray must have got on y'all. He's full participation, man. I love this right here. All right, socialization, it validates and confirms. One of the things I love is this. You know what? I've been able to teach with a lot of students, and here's the thing that I've learned. I have learned, and I can say that because I'm watching this group right here. You guys are head and shoulders above anything I've seen. The people who participate the most within these events, how many of you agree that those are the people typically who get better results from the information? Okay, that's just the truth. So number one, I can tell this is one of the best groups that we've had. Peer pressure to join, influence. It's the beginning of it's the beginning of the thing. Beginning of the thing to do. Yep. Captive audience, new people, open-minded, FOMO, fear of missing out. They can see that it's real. So all of your answers were right on. You guys are spot on with your answers. But one of the reasons that it actually does work is because there are also very few distractions between the presentation and the transmission of the presentation and the reception of the presentation. Very few distractions. Very few distractions. When you are communicating, typically on a Zoom, you've got to be either extra good or your message has to be either very compelling right away, because people today have very short attention spans. Mitchell says it builds trust. I like that. The ripple effect, community, connectivity. But there's very few distractions. And so now when I have a captive audience that they're in my house, or I'm at a hotel meeting, I know I've got a certain amount of time. I can connect with these people. I don't have any interferences. I can tell everybody to shut their phones off. Nobody's got a television on. Nobody's got a dog coming in. Nobody's got a kid coming in. And so what happens is this. In live presentations with person to person, here's what happens. You now have a higher ratio of success of people who are actually converting to become a business partner with you than on the internet. Even right now, I'm captivating you guys' attention. There's certain things that I'm actively doing to make sure I hold your attention. I got 3 days to do this, guys. 3 days. Do you know in the very beginning, if I was starting trying to, I would have been shaking in my boots. I would have lost y'all in the first 15 minutes. Here's the cool thing. None of you have to be anywhere this good to make $1 million in network marketing. You don't.
Somebody says it really you.
Don't. What do you have to do? Exercise the 4th level.
Right, because if you really talking to everybody,
Value number 3.
still
Value
good
number
meetings.
4. Okay. Yes, Jackie, it's really me. It's a glitch, me. She says, is it really you? Yeah, it's me. Hold on a second. Oh, I'll share something with you guys in a minute here. Okay. Rochelle says she was wondering, was it me as well? Actually, no. What is today's date? Today's date is September the 29th, right?
September.
September the 29th? Yes. September 29th. Yep. Do you know that the world is a much different place when we have to ask, is that really him? Is that him? Is he really, is this live? Right? How many remember that commercial where they should say, is it live or Memorex? The cassette tape. Rochelle, she remembers that, right? All right. Now Bill's like, what are you talking about? Memorex? What are you talking about? Okay. So, so we'll talk about that. Manual follow-ups. Keeping notes on paper, spreadsheets with inconsistent reminders. Boy, I remember doing a lot. Okay, it was fun. Today, there's a whole different way. I mean, there's a way to get things done that is so simple. All right, like very, very, very simple.
Yep.
Okay, I'll share with you guys one of the things that we've done. Some of you have actually communicated with me a lot, and you thought it was me, and it wasn't. And I watched the conversation. How many of you have ever gone on Facebook, instant message me, and told me, hey, HP, I want to know about your ebook? Raise your hands if you've done that. Or put a me in the chat. And then it struck up a conversation. And it started asking you about your goals. Right? And it started asking you, well, tell me, what's your weaknesses? What are you looking for? You're like, HB is asking me. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I'm watching my AI just do this work. That ain't me. That is AI having these conversations. And listen, Angel, I know she's on here. Angel, we've had some long conversations over a long period of time, and it wasn't me.
Wow.
I know I shouldn't be telling y'all this right now, right? I shouldn't even be mentioning this to you guys right now, but y'all are sitting there talking, and then I had a young lady say, yeah, I talked to Anna, and Anna, we had this long conversation, and I remember Anna from a long time ago, and I'm like, that wasn't Anna, you were talking to, but it's okay, I understand. Okay? He needs to tell us this time.
What date?
Oh, tell us the time. Hold up a newspaper. Yes. Well, one of the things I can tell you guys is they're about to vote to see whether or not the government is going to get shut down. Okay? And right
The government
now,
already shut down.
So there's a possibility that when they vote this week,
Government already shut
the
down.
government's going to shut down.
Oh, baby.
I don't know if it's going to shut down or not, but they're about to vote to see if the government's about to shut down.
Yeah, baby.
Is he lying?
He lied. He's lied.
Oh, he lied.
He acting up. He know the government already. He know the government already shut down. He's acting up.
So like this, that vote was already happening, right?
He's clowning.
Okay. So, product pushing, focusing heavily on sales pitches instead of authentic value and education. That was one of the old ways that we did. Okay. Limited duplication. One of the biggest challenges that people have today is duplication. All right. Now, let me share a story with you that is so real and compelling here. I remember I was doing a meeting years ago for T-Grade. I did it right here in this house. Now, here's the thing. I was so good at communicating. Now, remember, I wasn't born that way. Yeah, I wasn't. Even after 7 years in network marketing, I was not good at all. Because I always say you'd be bad before you're good. I was bad for a lot of years. I told you guys a story of my presentation that I did for this company called Optimal Telecom, when they allowed me to be one of the first, not allowed me, I became one of the first regional executives in the company, and they were doing a big event here, and they allowed me to do the grand presentation, which lasted all of about 6 minutes. Okay? And our presentation normally lasts at least an hour and 15, mine lasted 6 minutes.
Wow.
I told everything that I lied on within those first 6 minutes. It was the worst presentation I had ever done. At least I was 100% with my guests. 100% of them walked out and said, I don't want nothing to do with this. Not one person. There was no follow-ups. There was no follow-throughs. There was no fortune. There was no fortune in the follow-up whatsoever. Okay? So what happened is this. I did this presentation to T-Grade.
No fortune in the follow-up.
Good. You know when I became good? It had nothing to do with taking a class. You know when I became good? When I started to believe that I could actually impact people's lives. I remember the day that I became good. It was right over here at the Hilton West Chase Hotel. I was doing a Sunday brunch. I had a gentleman by the name of Stanley James that I had invited. He was a part of the organization. And I
Wow.
let him do the presentation. Stanley James was a known network marketer. And this guy got up and he lit it up like a Christmas tree.
Good, guys.
Watch this
Had a question.
guy's presence. He wasn't making a lot of money. He had just joined our company. He had made a lot of money in the industry, and he's passed away maybe about 8 months ago.
You guys have people
But I watched
every
this
time
guy
you talk
get
to
in front of a room, and I watched him move these people. And I knew at that moment what I had been missing. I was presenting from here. I saw this guy presenting from here. And when he left that meeting, I said, I believe I can help these people. And when I said I believe I can help these people, the HB that you guys see now, that's when he was born. And people started following my message. They followed my belief. It wasn't my knowledge. Okay? That's when that difference came. So what's the difference now? What's the new way of network marketing? Attraction marketing. Attraction. In network marketing today, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that I want you to understand is this, is that the new capital in network marketing is called attention. Attention and interest. It's called attention and interest. Okay? Attention and interest. Using social media content to draw qualified prospects in a natural, flowing way. The beauty of being able to do this is that there's very limited rejection that you're going to actually experience yourself. Do you know using social media, you actually do get more rejection than ever before? You just don't actually feel it.
That's true. That's true.
You just don't feel it. Do you know the thousands of people who actually saw my ad? Do you know the number of people who said, if they told me that, my self-image would be down somewhere in the toilet? But because of social media, I am removed from it, and I allow technology to be an extension of me. I don't have to deal with the rejection, so I never internalize it. Automated systems is the new part and the new way of thinking in network marketing. Being able to leverage funnels. Now, some of you are going to kind of quiver it. Don't be so shaking in your boots when I say the word funnel. Some of you don't even know what a funnel is. You're thinking funnel cake. That's the only thing you know about a funnel, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I felt. Like funnel cake, I can do funnel cake. Funnels. I remember the first time I heard of a funnel, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. Funnels. What do they mean, funnels? Right? And I was so Mark probably remembers. I was so intimidated. I was like, man, let me let Mark do this stuff. Now when I look at it, because I now understand, you know what? This is like anything else. When you don't know it, it intimidates you in the beginning. And if you take the time to understand the foundation and the basics, now you're like, that was harmless. Everything that's hard, it begins hard up here. Everything that's hard, it starts to be hard up here. Okay? Landing pages, and emails, and text automations to scale your outreach. Do you know how much business I've been able to generate by having my Facebook automated, whereas when people reach out to me on Messenger, I'm asleep and having a long conversation with them.
Right.
And they feel so good about themselves. Like, I talked to HB, and they always, Mr. Bugs is blah, 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 blah. And they're sharing information, and I wake up and I'll take a look at how many conversations did I have last night? 72? Okay. Cool.
Yes,
I would
72
love to
conversations.
be in that position.
Absolutely.
They have 72 conversations, right? In the middle of your sleep, right? That's what we're talking about. Having that ability to be able to multiply yourself. AI does not replace you, it multiplies you. Digital presentations. Zoom, you guys are already doing those. Zooms, webinars, and recorded videos that have replaced the need for some hotel presentations.
AI allows you to multiply yourself.
Right now, say that it's replaced the need for all of them. I still love a good base of people that are here with me. Those people who've been to some of our live, our VIP lives, they know It's a difference. Edson, isn't it different when you hear? Pat, is it different when you hear? Okay, Shanghai, is it different when you hear? When you're here, you know, Yvonne, it's different being here than just being on the screen. Okay, the impact is different. New way, CRMs, and tracking tools.
What's good, brother?
Some of the apps
It's all good,
we're gonna
man.
have a chance to talk
Everything's
about this
good.
weekend. Don't feel intimidated when you hear about.
No, I'm actually sitting on this Holding Bug seminar.
Monday.com and Asana, HubSpot.
Dude, I be doing everybody's seminar, man. I'm trying to get better.
We'll lay it out for you. Say, hey, here's how you can actually develop this. So what?
$27, man. I ain't paying all the money.
These tracking tools allow you to scale your business and actually be able to do more business.
Nah, heck nah.
Okay?
Heck nah.
Than you
Heck
could in
nah.
a shorter period of time if you did
Heck
it
nah.
only by yourself.
This was on AI, so yeah, checking this out. It's a weekend
Like
seminar.
having an employee that
Yep.
will work for less than minimum wage, that have all of the speed
No,
in the
man.
world,
No, man.
never, ever.
Not the kid.
And here's one of the things that's really important. I typically talk about
Oh, do you?
on Fridays, and that is your personal branding in your community.
Right.
Positioning yourself.
I had to, look, that's how he continue to make his millions.
Through value-driven online engagement.
Yep.
We'll
Yep,
talk-
exactly. Exactly.
We're going to talk about repositioning the identity. And as we talked about your identity being redistributed or redefined,
Absolutely.
your
Right.
identity, transferring your identity,
Yep.
shifting your
Yep.
identity. And identity is nothing more than.
Oh, were you? I didn't know that.
It is basically the image of who it is that you believe that you see when you look into the mirror.
Okay.
We're going to change that because some of you look in the mirror right now and you see,
Yep.
I don't know nothing about the internet. I don't know anything about online marketing. Well, we're going to shift that identity, and now
Appreciate you reaching out, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I don't know how. What you're going to be saying is how.
Cool, brother. Talk to you in a
I
minute.
learn.
Peace.
I don't know how is the first cousin to I don't want to. How can I learn is the person that you're going to now become. We're going to shift that identity from I don't know how to how
So
can
new edition is
I
on tour
learn.
with Tony Bryson in
Now,
2026.
what we're going to do is
Tony Braxton and Boyz II Men.
every single day, I'm going to ask you for a commitment.
New
We're going to
edition
talk about
and
this throughout
Boyz
the
II Men.
weekend.
Yeah, New Edition Boyz II Men, Tony Braxton.
For a commitment,
I wanna see that.
in your first week, I want you to have 30 minutes.
They here
Commitment.
March 29th, I think it is. March 29th.
We going to that, I don't give a damn
When
when.
it comes to
There's
your,
new edition.
your.
I think it's March 29th.
It ain't about Tony Bryson, it's about
Yeah, I saw the thing for it earlier today.
I'm gonna quit my job and become an AI expert and an online, a social selling expert or an interest media expert. But 30 minutes per day is all that we're gonna, and what you're gonna realize is after 2 weeks, you'll wake up and be like, hold on a second. This is what I've learned in 2 weeks. You'll be ahead of so many people. You're hearing about it, but listen, guys, most people are afraid of it. You're so far, right now, do you know I think that from what I have looked at and what I've seen so far online, in terms of high quality trainers from network marketing, there's only 2 network marketing trainings that I'm aware of that's even covering this information. Mm-hmm. That's how much ahead of the curve, ahead of the game you guys are. Okay? We're way ahead of the game. But I want to go ahead and I want to talk about now the mind. We talked about a little bit about the new ways that we're going to have. Now I want to talk about the mind. I'm going to go through the 3 mental blocks, and we're going to discuss this here because right now, remember, I told you, what we're doing tonight
3
is
mental
getting you
blocks.
ready. And tomorrow is going to be a lot more engaging, a lot more information, but today is getting you to shift your identity, shift your thought process, shift your personal brand and your personal identity. Remember, your brand is nothing more than your promise that you or your product actually makes to its customer or to its end user. Your brand is not your brochure. Your brand is not how your social media page looks. your brand is, what does my message resonate with the followers, with the viewers? When people come here to see my page, what is it that they get?
So baby's name is Pride.
From a scale of 1 to 10, just by now, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm still so tense right now about learning this, and 10 being, you know what, I am so ready, I am so loose now, I have no fear. Show me in the chat right now. Hold on for a second. You guys are 10. Hold on for a second. I love the engagement, but your level of how much you have loosened up. If you've loosened all the way up, put a 10. If what I've shared with you so far has relaxed you all the way, put a 10. If you're still tense, put a 1. So from 1 means I'm still tense, I'm so shaking in my boots, I'm still afraid. I just want to know where you are. I want to know where you are. Why? I told you guys, this is stretching me too. I was never the person who was going to rely or build something who said they're too wide. Okay, Sally says she's too great. No, Nancy's still a 1. That means I've got work to do. That's all. I'm not judging any of your answers. I just want to know where I've got a job to do. I invited you guys to be here. You guys looked on my ass, or somebody said, hey, listen.
Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
So, those of you who came in,
We can put the little table over here outside and put the pumpkin on
what
it.
I've got to do is I've got to continue to earn your trust throughout the weekend. And tonight, I've got to take some of these people, I've got to take Sally from a 2 to at least a 5. Whoever that person was a 1, I got to get
Hey, babe.
1 to at least a 3.
Why is Kimberly Felder on this call?
I got to make some progress. If I get it
Kimberly
to a 3
Felder.
Tonight, guess what? I already know. By tomorrow, I work
Is it her?
It's her.
Shit, it's
Yes,
other
sir.
people want to know ways to do this shit.
Hold on, let me I know we I'm
No, he not on Facebook and
hold on, let me scroll down. You can look up there and see.
Let's talk about the 3 mind blocks that we have. Let's talk about that.
Just
The
type
first
it.
one, ladies and gentlemen, is
KIM
fear.
in there and she'll come up.
Okay? The first one is fear.
See it right there?
I understand the fear.
Now, send out inbox and say, I see
And the
you on
fear?
the phone.
I don't, you know what? I have her.
Oh, I sent it to her.
It's false.
You have her phone number?
But the fear is
Yes,
real.
I have her phone number.
Text her directly. She ain't gonna be on inbox. But text her and say, I see you on this Eric Worre call. I mean, this Holden Buzz call.
The fear are basically stories that you have already
I saw her
created.
earlier. I'm like,
You designed
okay, I
a
thought I saw
narrative,
Kimberly
and
Kim
you also
post.
have a projected result that has never happened before. But because it's coming from you, it's so personal that it is real to you. What I want you to do right now is I want you to take a moment. Let's talk about what are the things that you're afraid of right now. What is it that you're afraid of? Let's just take a minute. Let's take a moment. Let's talk about it. Because some of you are afraid. Okay? Some are not doing well, rejection, okay? Getting it wrong, losing my job to AI.
She trying to do better too. Shit.
That I will not succeed. Just did a video on IG and Facebook about this. Wow. Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you. That means we're connecting. We're on that same vibration there. We're on that same frequency. Investing a lot of money on something and it doesn't work. That's reasonable. Fear of failure, fear of success, afraid of doing the work, that I won't be successful, letting you down, doesn't believe, some family letting you down, doesn't
Who
believe
else
in
on
you.
there we know?
Failure.
I don't know that
Getting it wrong.
I saw her posting
I lost it.
one time, and then I was like, I think I saw Kimberly Felder, and then I saw her name come because she spelled her name different than everybody else.
Fear of success.
Her Kimberly is different than everybody else.
Disrespect.
Yes,
Leadership.
L-E-E.
Bad reputation. Okay?
Let me know if she hit you back.
These are some of the fears that most of that some of the people are dealing with. I'm not good enough. I'm over my capacity.
So what?
Why? I don't.
Oh, he was just, he said, man, don't be spending all that money over there.
To take this huge vessel of new information where
I said, I spent $27 on this three-day weekend.
big enough.
He said, okay. He said, I be hearing Mr. Bradley talking to Holden Buzz on the phone.
Information cannot fill up.
I'm like, straight up.
The number of
But he said Holden was one of his mentors.
information that you got in one of your cells.
That's when he brought Holden to that event. He said Holden was one of his mentors.
Million times, a trillion times greater than all of the information and AI that's ever been designed.
trying to learn some shit too. too.
Your
Right.
capacity is large. This is why we're talking about shifting the identity.
Yes, you know, hey baby, let's do it
AI is
Friday
not
so
bigger
we
than
can
you.
win. That's the goal.
The internet is not bigger than you. Here's the thing that I want you guys to understand. I want you to start looking at it as an extension. Let it be a
Look, I
part
done already got my
of you.
$27 worth.
People with no imagination.
And I got 2 more days.
It won't work. Spending on the wrong things and not getting the return on investment.
Yep.
Keeping up. Fear of failure and disrespect. Talk to their spirit. The fear of spending time and losing money and still understand how to make it profitable. So let's talk about some of this here. Okay? As we go into this next era, and I have another lawsuit. As we go into this next era, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? As we go into this next era, here's the thing that I want you to start understanding. I want you to start having a whole different mindset about your fears. And I'm glad that
Look, we got 221. I'm sure there's some more Planet people on
I'm
here.
glad that we're here talking about this because this is something that most people never talk about. And I want you guys, I love the fact that you guys are transparent. And everything that you guys have written down, here's the thing that I want you to understand. When you write it down, and when you say it, and when you profess it, you give life to it.
When you write it down, you give life to it.
And so the next question that I have, because I wanted all of this out here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the fire extinguisher to all of these fears that you guys have. We're going to put a fire extinguisher to it. In a second.
Yvette Turner. That name sound familiar. What happened?
I don't know.
He stopped
The
talking.
thing that I want you guys
There you go.
to think about is number one, okay, what is the solution for the thing that you're fearing the most right now?
What is the solution for the thing
Yep.
you're fearing the most?
Yep.
It's real.
The
It's just
solution is to
basic,
work,
guys.
because the fear is lost.
That's really good.
The fear is not succeeding,
Ron just said doing it anyway.
and you're working.
Somebody said try. Do and stop thinking. Okay?
Yeah, try is not a
Learning. Becoming a master of a new skill. Okay? For every person who put a reason out there of what you're afraid of, I also want you to put something out there that's going to distinguish that fear. What is going to distinguish the fear that you put out there? Personal development, speaking to yourself. Feel your fear and do it anywhere, and do it anyway. God said, Reginald says. Okay? Ask for help. Speak life. Why? One of the most beautiful questions that you can ever ask is why? Why or how? How can I do this anyway? Just do it, see what happens. Believing in the process. Believing in the process.
Nick Strawberry says Scorpio season is here. We don't care if y'all don't like us. Just keep y'all bitch ass out the way. I said, I'm already sick of her with this shit.
Believe in yourself. Focus on your why, not your fear.
Oh, here go 2 days right here. Oh shit, I'm gonna start promoting tickets.
Oh, they had a whole Facebook advertisement.
Yeah, it's follow page.
Where they were sitting around talking, they're like, man, we need to do this bigger. We had a great Vegas
Faith in God.
thing. We need to do it bigger. What we gonna do next time?
Do the work. I can do it. Keep the main thing the main thing.
What the fuck is that
Love it.
outside? You hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, please tell me that's fireworks.
Sound like fireworks.
Yeah, I must have fire or something, my computer or something.
Yeah.
Fear. The next one is familiarity.
Familiarity.
Fear. Each one of you have actually listed some things that aren't real, but are real because you gave life to them. The only reason they're real is because you give life to them. Fear and faith is the thing that we actually can give life to through the power of our words. Whenever we use words to describe the emotion, and fear is actually
You need your door back open?
give life to it. And here's the thing that I want you to understand. Every
Okay.
single time, that you say the words or say something that represents fear, here's what I want you to understand. Words are vibrational.
You lock the screen.
When you speak in a
There's a lock on the
frequency,
screen,
and
though.
the frequency has a vibration.
Yeah.
And what happens is success doesn't speak yes or no. Success doesn't speak English or Spanish or French or German. Success speaks frequency. And when we start to use certain words, what we do is this. Whenever we say we can't, what you're doing is you're sending a vibration to 57 trillion cells in your body so that they can start operating from an instructional standpoint to make sure that you're right. This is why when people say they can't, they can't. And when people say they can, they can. You're both right.
I wonder if we'll be
You're
able to
both
sell
right.
these through our back office.
You're both right. And I'm here to let you know that I am going to be your guide. I'm going to be the person who helps oversee you through this process. I promise you, I won't let anything happen.
Keep trying to step our game up.
It's going to be a
So we all right.
I promise
So let's do it quietly. I said that's the
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have a familiarity, or what happens is we are familiar with our old self, and what happens is we become addicted to the person that we have always been. We are addicted and we're normally committed to the old processes that we had. Why? Remember I told you? Your brain wants to keep you comfortable. Your brain typically is going to make sure it reminds you of the things that you're familiar with. So now when you start to introduce this new information into your brain, initially your brain's going to be like, hold on for a second. You don't have clearance.
Somebody say, get off my toes, sir.
I'm rejecting you. Why?
I say, get off my toes, sir.
Uncomfortable, and I don't like being uncomfortable. I am comfortable knowing the people. I am comfortable, doing it the old way. I am comfortable doing it this way. And your brain is going to reject this new information. But I want you to remember, do not allow your brain to control you. It is your job to control the brain.
Good stuff.
Your brain is there to keep you safe. It is there to protect you. It is there to remove everything new, and whatever it is that you are, successful or failure, in the process of business, your brain is there to protect you. And when I say your brain, I am talking more about your subconscious. As we go through this process, here's the thing that you're going to have to learn. One of the keys about your growth that you're going to have as we move through this process, your conscious mind is where your fear is, because what you do is you make fear a physical thing. In the physical, this is where all of your problems lie. Your fear, your lack of success, your income if it's not working for you, your relationships, your health, all of these things is where your fear and familiarity is in the physical. And what happens is, quite often we try to fix problems from an area that the problem actually exists. You can't put out a fire with a bigger fire. You can't. Okay? If something's on fire, you don't bring more fire to put it out. You gotta bring something that will neutralize fire. So what I'm telling you right now, from a mental standpoint, the 3 mind blocks is the majority of us are going to get stuck. Not only, this is not about AI, this is about learning anything new. The physical is where we have the biggest problems. Why? Because we're using what we call the limited senses that we have: touch, smell, sight, taste, and feel. And anytime we're limiting ourselves to the 5 senses, by the way, you have 15. 3 categories of senses that you have. These are the physical senses. Then there's going to be mental senses, 5 mental senses that you have, and 5 spiritual senses that you have. Nobody taught you about the spiritual and the mental. They only taught you about the 5 physical senses. Why? The physical is equivalent to what? Implementation. Lowest level of value. This is why the majority of the people who operate just from the physical, just from implementation, having a physical application of energy, it's the lowest level of value, it's the lowest level of return. They don't have the healthiest relationship. They don't have the strongest connection, relationship-wise or even spiritual-wise. They don't have strong finances. They don't have strong morals. They don't have strong
She needs what?
Why? Because they're limited to the physical.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're limited to the physical, that's where all the problems are. The problems are in what I call the 3-dimensional. The 3-dimensional is the physical. You guys are wondering, is he real? Why? Because you're looking at me, I'm a representation of being in the physical. How can you tell something is in the physical? Well, the 3D has what? It has depth, width, and height. Anything like that is going to be 3-dimensional, and that's where all the problems are. That's where all the problems are. It's in the 3-dimensional. I remember my son came to me one day, Dad, you know what? I got a problem. What's the problem? We're playing football. This guy over here is too big on the other team. He's actually focusing on the physical. That's where the problem is. And when that guy is too big, now guess where the problem is? The problem is it. And anytime it is the problem, you'll never be able to overcome it. Why? Because you can't change it. He couldn't change the size of that guy. He can't change the speed of that guy. What I said, son, is listen, you'll never be able to change the size of that guy or any other guy who's on the other side. What you can do is this. You can get stronger. You can get faster. You can get better. You can get stronger, you can get faster, you can get better. When it is the problem, you will never, ever, ever succeed. So if social media is the problem, if AI is the problem, you already have lost. Why? You can't change social media. You can't change AI. What you can do is you can change who? You.
Yeah.
So all the problems that you're going to have in your life are going to operate in what I call the physical plane or the 3-dimensional self that you actually have. This is where all your fears, doubts, and worries are actually going to reveal themselves in the physical. In the physical. There's another level of another dimension, and that's called the 4th dimension. The 4D, remember? You got 2D. 2D is if you pick up a piece of paper or pick up a dollar bill, you look at it, everything there is 2-dimensional. It is very simple, it's flat. You see a drawing, there may be a face in it, but there's no depth perception on it whatsoever. We've gone from 2D to 3D. 3D is what we call the physical plane of where we live. All of the things, touch, smell, see, taste, hear, sound, all of that lives within the 3D. And we carry all of our problems in this 3D world. And when you carry all your problems in the 3D world, you'll never be able to solve them, you'll never be happy. You will never have fulfillment because you think it is the problem, and it is never the problem. Tavon says, what's the 4D? I've never heard of the 4D. The 4D is is the place where you go to solve the problems of the 3D. It's called the subconscious. The subconscious, or the astral. It's the astral. The subconscious, what do I mean by the subconscious? How many of you know that you got conscious mind, right? The conscious mind is what you're looking at right now. In your conscious mind is where you see all the problems. Where all the problems are revealed is in the physical. Subconscious mind is where you go to fix the problems. The subconscious mind is where you go to fix the problems. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Here's how we're going to do this. Here's what's going to determine how much you succeed in this brand new world. Why? Because this new world is not the problem. When you go to a store, you go to a car lot, and they say, hey, would you like the S600 Mercedes versus the C200, 300 Mercedes? And you say, well, the S600 is too expensive. You're making the S600 the problem. The S600 is not the problem. The problem is you haven't developed the skills enough to afford the S600, so the C300 appeals to you. The car is not the problem. You are the problem. And I don't want any of you to internalize that HB said, I was on this thing, and this dude I answered that, he kept telling me I'm the problem. Should I go back tomorrow? I'm letting you know the car is not the problem. The mansion you want to live in is not the problem. The vacation that you want to take is not the problem. The cost of tuition is not the problem. The increase in cost of living in America is not the problem. Taxes is not the problem. The problem is I don't make enough money. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. I don't understand AI. That's not the problem. The problem is I have shut off learning since school. That's the problem. So we go from the 3D to the 4D. The 4D is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where you go to fix everything. Now, this is how the subconscious mind operates. The subconscious mind is like the Galleria Mall. Okay? The Galleria Mall. Galleria Mall, we have it right here in Houston, Texas.
He's in Houston.
And on the Galleria Mall, there's multiple floors and multiple stores in the Galleria Mall. And there's some wings in the Galleria Mall that people stay out of.
Who that?
I can't go through there. Don't want to go through there. There's nothing in there.
Oh, me and you, yeah.
Side is Saxford Avenue. That's way on the other side. And people say, no, don't want to go over there. They charge too much for valet parking. And if the valet parking is $20, I know the price tag of the stuff is too high. So what happens is, in between, they go, now, if you go to the bottom or all the way to the top floor, the top floor is the most inconvenient to get to, so they put the most affordable stuff up there. And the bottom floor is going to be what? Where the food is, that's going to be the food court. If you go on that first level to those anchor stores, and to the Louis Vuitton, and to the Gucci's, and to the Chanel's, it's different calibers of people, different classifications, and different stratification of people. So your subconscious is just like that. What do I mean by that? Let me share with you what I mean, because I've got limited time here. I've got 40 minutes to wrap all of this up for tonight. The subconscious mind, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that whenever you see the problem in the physical, like right behind me, this right here is a television screen. The television screen is the it. The television screen is the it. It's the program. And the 3D, because it is the problem, I am the programmed. This is the revelation or the projection of the program. So what's on the screen is nothing more than a reflection of what is inside of me. So whatever's inside of me is going to be projected on the TV screen. So now we're going from 2D, 3D, because I am the program, to the third is the programmer, that's the subconscious. Are you guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does this have to do with AI? It has everything to do with it. Why do you think AI operates the way that it operates? Remember, I just got to telling you guys that you are the algorithm. You are the algorithm. I'm showing you now how to free yourself, and then now when you see this and tomorrow, you're going to be like, wow, this is simple. 2D flat screen, 3D right here, 4D is the subconscious, and by the way, the subconscious mind, we all share the same subconscious mind. You don't have your own. The subconscious mind is like the Galleria. However, the subconscious mind is where certain frequencies exist. And certain frequencies is stored information, or what we call vibration. And remember, I told you that the solution to all of the problems, the solutions to it, is based off of certain frequencies.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. I'll give you a physical example so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay? When you take an aspirin, how does the aspirin know to go to your foot when you stub your toe?
Yeah.
Tasha's like, yeah, I thought about that. It's one of those things that make you say, man, my back is hurt. Let me go take an Excedrin. I've got a migraine headache. Let me take an Excedrin. I've got this. Let me take ibuprofen. Let me go get me a leave or what. How does it know? How, Sway? How does it know? Because pain has a frequency. And what they do from a pharmaceutical standpoint, they have taken the frequency of 128 and they programmed a frequency, created a pharmaceutical frequency in a tablet, so when you swallow it, it actually goes in, the body remembers this particular frequency, and it neutralizes pain because pain always exists at that particular frequency. That's how the pill knows, because the
Now
body
you call.
ingests it, and anytime
Lock it
you send
and turn the light off out there.
opposite frequency,
The right
to
one.
something that's on the same frequency, it neutralizes it.
It's not the right one.
Tasha, do you remember Leontine Price?
Why is this right here? Now it's
Famous
hanging
black
off the wall. You
opera
should-
It's not standing on the wall. It's not standing on the wall. It ain't even up there high. That's not, it come from
She
that.
had a commercial, she would sing, and she would hit this high octave, and they had
Standing on the wall, it ain't even up there high.
in the room with speakers,
The
and
fuck?
the glass would shatter. Remember that? Why did it shatter? She never touched the glass in the physical. She
Make sure your front windows are closed
never
too.
saw anything hit the glass, but frequency. Glass, this cup, this glass has a frequency. If I send a frequency equal but opposite to this, it will shatter this cup. The same principle. So anytime we're speaking in frequencies. And listen, remember, you were already born, you were already designed with the seed of greatness, and every answer to every one of your problems are already inside of you, but you have learned to speak in certain frequencies that actually go and neutralize the winner that's inside of you, and that's why the results that you're getting, why? Your subconscious mind, you're operating on this frequency, it's just like a radio station. If you want blues, you tune in to 97.2, Blues FM, and you will always get blues unless you change the channel. If you want opera music, you're going to have to go to 102.6. If you want hip hop, you're going to have to go to 105.2. If you want R&B, you're going to have to go to 88.6. FM stands for frequency modulated. There's separate modules of frequency that actually allows me to pull information if I'm on that frequency. So how do I fix the problem? The radio and the television is not the problem. You're saying, well, I don't like what's on this television. That's not the problem. You think that's it. You got to go to what? The transmitter, to the receiver, and turn the
saying?
turn the channel
I turned it down.
to
How you turn it down one day and I got to remote?
you're now going to get something different.
Cause I'm controlling it.
in the physical.
Well, you ain't turn that low, but it was just way too loud for me to hear what you were saying.
Y'all know y'all didn't take this.
Turn it back up a little bit. What did he say?
Okay? So I'm showing you something right now in terms of how we're going to have to think through this. Now, so the 4D, so now you understand what I mean by the 4D. Have you ever heard the term collective consciousness? So if you've heard the term collective consciousness, that means that we all share the same subconscious connection. But some of us have just decided, you know what, I'm not going over there to Neiman's shop. I'm not on that frequency. That means that you're on the same frequency, you share the same frequency that Einstein shared. You share the same frequency that Elon Musk shared. You share the same frequency that the smartest and the wisest and the richest people are actually, you're sharing the same subconscious as all of them. It's just that you've chosen that you're going to actually access a lower frequency of subconscious. So what you're actually going to get is going to be reflected in your results in the physical, and you don't like it. That's called the 4D, the fourth dimension. Or the astral plane. It's where the astral, it's where all the emotions, it's where all the imagination and all the dreams are. That's where that exists. You can change everything that you want in the subconscious mind. You can do that. It's a collective of consciousness. Matter of fact, I'm going to be there tonight. What do you mean, HB? How many of y'all plan to go to sleep tonight?
All of us. And we think about this shit.
Okay? Right. Well, sleep is not for sleep. Sleep is nothing more than for the process of reprogramming. And whatever instructions you give to yourself before you go to bed tonight, the body is actually going to start, the subconscious is going to start working on that so that it becomes a part of your tomorrow. And then the last one that we have is this here. This is where you're able to multiply. Remember, you go to the 4D to fix the problem, you go to the 5D, or what I call the mental plane. And that's where you go to multiply. This is where you go and change the false identity. We talked about familiarity already. The false identity, you change the false identity in the subconscious. You can't change it in the physical. You can't beat up on Mercedes-Benz X600 and think that you're gonna solve the problem. You can't. You've got to go into the subconscious, and in the subconscious you can influence, rewire, reprogram, do all the things that you need to do. And so what happens over a period of time, if you're consistent enough and you develop, and if you tap into a different level of frequency on a consistent basis, now what happens is you start receiving S600 waves, income, surroundings, relationships, whatever that may be. And then that's what shows up in the physical. So how do you actually 10x it? How do you multiply it? You multiply it within 5D. This is the program. I want you to imagine stepping outside of yourself, watching the program, but when you step outside of yourself, you're not the programmer. Do you see the third dimension now? You're 3D, the program, because remember, what you see is a reflection of what's in. So this is the program, that's why they call it TV programs. Welcome back to our television program. Who's watching it? The program. Me, I'm watching it. But if I want to change the channel, I'm going to step outside of myself and become the programmer, and I can only do that within the 4D. Or the astral.
So,
If I want to multiply it, that's when I go to what I call the mental plane, or 5D.
I think I've got
And
lost.
5D is where I'm able to shift.
That's because you're not paying attention.
No, I am paying attention. And that's where I asked the question. So
remove the false
these
identity,
three
replace it with a
mind block
brand new
things
identity.
are really another
Be
way
consistent
to
with
tell
it.
you about your
And
mindset.
now
Yes.
I understand
Yes.
that success is not separate from me. Success and all of the wealth that I want and all the knowledge that I want is an extension of me. And when I understand that it's an extension of me, that means success is always with me.
Success is an
Am I making any sense to any of you
Yep.
right now? Okay. Right. From a biblical standpoint, not religious standpoint, why was Jesus able to walk on the water? It wasn't because he's Jesus.
Because he believed he could.
It was because Jesus operates from the 5D all the time. That's why he's Jesus, which meant that he never saw the water separate from his control. He saw the water as an extension of him, but he also saw himself as the programmer, and he saw the water as the program. And who's more powerful, the program or the programmer? This is why I can walk on water, because I am the programmer, and the water is an extension of me, but beneath me. When we see it separate from us, it becomes the problem. The water is the problem. That was nothing but a parable to teach you the exact same thing that I'm sharing with you guys right now. So I want you to understand how we're going to get through this entire process of learning something new, learning something different, and becoming the type of person that can attract the wealth that we're looking. Todd, making sense, Todd? Todd says, a little bit. Just hang in there with me, Todd. You're going to be good. I appreciate your transparency, though. So essentially, Todd, here's the thing. What I'm sharing with you is this, is that the access of wealth that's out there is the same for you as it is for me. No different than the same subconscious that you and I have. We can share that. But you and I, we can live in the same city. How many of you agree that you can live in the same city with a person, share everything, and have two different results from two different people? You can. We can have people go to the exact same schools, have the exact same teachers, get completely different grades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it the school that's the problem, or was it the student who made different choices? It was our choices. So what I'm saying here is that what we're going to do through this weekend here is that we're going to talk about and focus on the choices that we're going to make over the next 60 days, and that's going to determine the level of mastery that we're going to have over this small little information to change called the AI revolution. I'm not even going to call it big anymore, because remember, you're more dominant than it ever could be. So what I'm letting you know, Todd, that any reason that you've ever thought that you couldn't succeed, that you couldn't make $1 million, that you couldn't make 10 million, that you couldn't do whatever it is, you couldn't sponsor this guy. This guy looks too sharp, he looks too rich, he looks too tall, he drives too nice of a car. All of those, see, that's making it a problem. And what I'm sharing with you is we can never change that. What we're going to do this weekend, Todd, is we're going to start the process of changing you, and I'm showing you where the change is going to come from. It's going to come from our thinking and our thought process. We're going to change the thought process, and I promise you, you change the thought process.
Change comes from our thinking and our thought process.
How many of you notice that when I start telling you to write down the solutions that will fire and extinguish all the fears, how many of you felt more positive energy in the chat? Mm-hmm. So now you guys understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now you guys understand what I'm talking about. Great. So how are we going to do this? Number one, we're going to start with the different framework you're going to work with. We're going to work with and start with what we call awareness. Okay? We're going to start with awareness, realizing that you're still carrying what we call the old habits. And I'm going to talk to you about the old habits and how we're going to change the new habits. And I'm going to give you some visuals so that you'll understand how we're going to do this and what this whole weekend is all about. Remember, tonight is the setup. Tonight is to get you from a 1, nervous to the church mouse, I don't know about this, to 10, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm loose. I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on. Okay? realizing that you're still carrying buckets. Some of us have what we call the bucket mentality. And remember, bucket mentality is based off of implementation value system. You're driving everything from implementation. The second component that we go from, and our framework is going to go from, when we talk about awareness, to alignment. We're going to go from awareness to alignment, deciding to think systematically. Alignment is now what we're going to do is we're going to get in alignment. So what happens from a frequency standpoint, when we get in alignment, okay, frequency simply means that you're now in alignment. Alignment is flow. When it is the problem, that means that how many of you ever
Thinking
wake up,
systematically.
you got cluster, you can't focus, everything is all over the place. It's because you're not in alignment. Do you know that flow repels clusters and clutter? You can't be in the flow but feel cluttered. That's low vibrational activity. You've got to be in alignment in order for things to flow to you. This is why they don't call it cash clutter, it's called cash flow. Cash flow. You want to be in the flow of new wealth, new information. You want to be in the flow, so that means that we don't have to grind and work hard all of our lives. Why? Because we're going to go from awareness to being in alignment. Deciding to think from a systematic standpoint. I'm going to give you a visual and show you what I'm talking about. And once we go from awareness, the 3 steps, awareness, alignment, and then activation, means that we're going to apply a brand new approach. We're going to apply a brand new approach. Remember, awareness, it means that I now understand where I am. I am aware of where I am. I recognize that I'm aware. I'm no longer in the wilderness. I am no longer this person who's like, I've never heard of, don't know what AI is, social selling. Is he talking about Social Security? What is he talking about? No, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You are aware. Once you are aware, we are all going to be in alignment. So that means if we are in alignment, information can properly flow. Ideas can properly flow. It means the frequency in which you're actually residing is a higher frequency.
Automating your follow-up. That's good.
You're now accessing a high level of information. You've now fixed your problems. It is no longer the problem. You recognize I was the problem. I placed these limitations. But because now I know how to fix it, I can't fix it in the 3D. I fix it in the 4D. And once we fix it in the 4D with thinking, changing the way we think, we now get into alignment. And when we change the way that we think, which changing our beliefs, we will now move into the third, which is activation or action. I want you guys to write in the chat, raise the bar, or write B-A-R, bar. B-A-R, B-A-R, raise the bar. Let me share with you what that means. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Raise the bar simply means this. When you change your thoughts, that means the way that you believe changes. Remember at first we talked about the fear. Everybody was dealing with fear, okay? We were dealing with fear, familiarity, and false identities. So now the fear has you believing I couldn't, I can't, I'm too small, I'm too short, I'm too old, I'm too young, somebody might laugh, I might fail, all of this. And then when I changed the question, you came up with the answers. Fear was gone. I felt better, the energy was better. Which meant this, your beliefs immediately changed. Why? Because you change it, you can't change it, you change you, the way that you think. So if I change my things, I change my beliefs. Beliefs. If my beliefs, or when my beliefs are changed, which is the B, my actions now change. Let me give you a prime example of what I mean. How many of you, if you had a belief that there was a fire on the 2nd floor and you live on the 5th floor and you have a belief that a fire was there, how many of you would actually get out of an apartment building?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What
As
if you
fast as
never
we
saw
can.
the fire? What if you never smelled the fire, but there was a strong belief? Why? Belief actually influences actions. So when you believe you'll fail, the actions are 0 or nil. Why? The belief is what influences the action.
Belief
So
influences
if
actions.
you believe social media is much bigger than who you are, you won't actually take the action. You won't activate. So beliefs control the actions, and the actions have a determination over the results, which is the R. I call it raise the bar. That's what we're doing here. We're raising the bar. Activation. You're going to implement some new ways. Why? I now have a new identity. If I have a new identity, I don't operate the same old way with a new identity. I operate a new way because my identity, which is my beliefs, are different, so I must put in new actions. Todd, does that make sense to you there? All right, that's all I want to make sure. That every little bit is going to add up to you. Mitchell, we're on the same page, Mitchell? All right, that's what I'm talking about. Now that we got that out of the way, I want to share something with you here. One of my favorite books, and what this is really all about, was way before social media was out. One of my favorite books is called The Parable of the Pipeline by Burke Hedges. The Parable of the Pipeline by Burke Hedges. The Parable of the Pipeline. And I use the Parable of the Pipeline to always give an example of why network marketing is so dynamic. The guy on the left, his name is Bruno. The guy on the left is Bruno. Should have had us put those names up there.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, how many of y'all know that T. Gray is a great artist? T. Gray actually created all of this whole PowerPoint that you guys see. Okay? He put it all together. He drew out all the characters
He didn't draw this shit out.
by hand.
This look like a damn PowerPoint. This look like some shit you'll present.
So
Right.
he's sharing with you this whole weekend how powerful AI is. About an hour and a half to 2 hours before, I gave T. Gray a list of things, and this PowerPoint was put together using AI. Pretty much, he did most of it in less than an hour.
My dumb ass. Why the dude on the right like that? He got a coochie.
The ideas for what I knew needed to be taught were there, but the videos were done by AI.
I put the little spit right there.
Because T. Gray is an excellent communicator, so when I told him I needed an example of who Bruno and Pablo was, AI wouldn't
Look, I've been drinking this Woodford Reserve all night.
communicate what it was that I wanted. Fellas, I know ladies probably may jump off on this one here. Fellas, how many of y'all feel like, man, my wife, she don't know what she want for dinner, she don't know what she want for breakfast.
That ain't your wife, because I be
We
doing
may
exactly
have
what I
one
want.
extra step for y'all. Sometimes y'all act like y'all don't know what you want.
I know
With
exactly
AI,
what I
you don't
want.
have to know exactly what you want. Because it's going to
I
give you a
want
reflection
money.
of who it is that you are already.
And wealth.
Yeah, you have to know exactly what you want.
And so you're going to have to become a great communicator. Bruno is on the left, carrying the buckets. Pablo is on the right. What is that a representation of? If you look at Bruno,
Pablo got a
Bruno is
coochie.
carrying buckets, physical work. Bruno,
Pablo got a coochie.
Listen, you know what? They lived in this particular town, and they wanted to build, make sure that they supplied their community with water. Bruno came up and says, "Man, look how strong I am." And what Bruno did is Bruno said, "I'm going to get me some buckets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have people I'm going to come down here, grab my buckets, walk down, fill up the vat, walk back up, fill up the vat." What Pablo did is Pablo said, "I am going to build me a pipeline. I'm going to build a system." We talk about being able to activate.
Let's build a system.
Pablo said, "I'm going to activate a system. I'm going to activate a system." But here's the thing. Bruno was filling up his buckets while Pablo was still working on looking for parts, looking for pieces, designing his pipeline. Pablo had no results whatsoever. Not one bucket of water or one drop of water went to Pablo's community for weeks. Why? Because he was building a
That's his
system.
building spot, his
And
building
Bruno
system,
was
yeah.
out there having fun. Bruno had all the attention. He was the talk of the town. Why? Because Bruno supplied more water than
But once your
anybody.
system is in place,
A little bit more time went
start
by.
killing it.
Pablo was still working on putting the pieces of his system in place.
Go
yep,
back to my AI
And
book.
next thing you know,
we
he found all the
I'm in
parts.
2 AI books.
He drew it all out. He started assembling all of it together.
yep,
And once he put that pipeline together, and when he put the last nut on the bolt and screwed it in tight, it finished his system. And what Pablo was able to go and do was to go to the lever and turn that lever on, and the overflow of water to his community was non-stop.
mm-hmm.
No,
You what?
Bruno,
Other dudes still got to bring buckets.
Bruno went out of business because Bruno's business was built on what? Implementation,
Mm-hmm. Doing work.
physical work. Pablo built his business on what? Ideas, thinking, highest level of value, building a system. And the lesson to this, ladies and gentlemen, between Bruno and Pablo, when Pablo was on the right.
So basically, to do less of the physical work, but still make the money as if you did. It's
Exactly.
what AI is about.
Right.
And that's what I love. I would
Right.
love to have some automated system.
It's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that I was able to be at a friend of mine's funeral
Systems outperform hustles.
and still have a system working for me, and we didn't miss a beat. And do you know when I was at that funeral, do you know that the technology performed for me and got the same results that I was getting when I was live? The same results. And we're entering a new age, and we're going to show you how to do that. So I want you to get ready to start building systems. This is why I say 25%, 30 minutes a day, but 25% over the next 60 days is where I want you looking at your efforts going into this new age here. What I'm sharing with you is this, ladies and gentlemen, that AI is a new pipeline. AI is the new pipeline builder.
Yep.
AI is the new pipeline builder.
See, it ain't just us. There's other people trying to learn the shit too.
Yeah,
You don't see AI.
because it's not, the business does not grow with the old.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. As you see, everybody shit slowing down right now.
Yeah,
There has to be another way of doing this shit.
it's got to be. And it's a lot of people that are doing it, and I don't care what they say.
And we about to speed up. Because right now those people are walking with buckets and we putting our shit together. And all of a sudden, when we cut that motherfucking pipeline on, it's going to be on and popping.
I'm telling you, we gonna pop out, they gonna be like, oh, two star, and everybody else gonna be like, how the fuck did they get two star?
That quickly.
Skill set.
Cause we put a system in place, that's how we got it.
Educated, a little faster than what it is that I can
We
do.
put a system in place because we have to keep up with the
AI will
times.
replace you. The only way AI can replace you is if you have decided
Still building genuine
the way I
relationships with them.
am is the way I'm going to be, and I don't plan on having any level of improvement. I don't plan on becoming better. I don't plan on becoming smarter. I don't plan on improving my skills. I don't plan on becoming a better communicator. I don't plan on becoming a better thinker.
Rachel Lodge said it best. You
Every
gotta have
issue
systems
that
in
you
place.
ever
Exactly.
have, that you ever will have, you solve
And
it.
she got systems in place, that's why she run and do everything else every single day. We shouldn't have to sit here all day trying to go in inboxes and shit like that.
Right.
And trying to, when we could be spending our day doing something else while the business is working for us.
Right.
I'm all for that shit.
For those of you who are part of our book club on Thursday, now you see the better reference of the new book we're reading called "You Are the Cause."
You are the
You
cause.
understand that now, right?
You are the cause, look.
You are the cause.
You are the
AI
Let me check Amazon.
AI will be very submissive to you. AI will be your best friend. You're now able to leverage AI and do all the things that you want to do. You become bigger, better, smarter, faster. That's what's going to happen to you this week. I'm leading you through a capacity of being able to access a different level of power.
Master the hidden laws that shape your. It's only on Kindle.
Is it only on Kindle?
Before we shut down tonight.
Well, you should have Kindle on your thing too. And you know Kindle is pretty cheap.
We'll come back tomorrow, and I want you to think about this tonight as we end in the next 10 minutes.
They don't have no hard copies.
I want you to ask yourself, where in my business am I still carrying
Paperback is
buckets
$22. The hardcover is
instead of building
$45.
pipelines?
He didn't say who was by. I guess it's.
He said, "Where in my business am I still carrying buckets?"
In my business, am I still carrying buckets instead of building pipelines? George? Yep.
Sitting here all day.
Because some of them are taking screenshots of the slides.
Mm-hmm.
That's the question for you. Where in my business am I still carrying buckets?
Instead of building pipelines.
Making every call back? Am I disorganized in my thoughts? Do I not know where to start? Do I not even understand what questions I should be asking?
Oh, shit, I got the wrong one. I was trying.
Am I still antiquated in my approach and I don't know how to evolve? Is my social media strategy still antiquated, and am I still taking my product and telling everybody about all the ingredients of my product and how great it is, and everybody should try my product because it really truly will change your life like it's changed mine, and every time you do that, 6 people unfollow you? Bridget's like, we're all guilty of it, right? I'm just being candid, we're all guilty of it.
Right here.
Do you know how many bozo things I have done?
My hair's softer than that.
I believe it.
Am I still counting on the next person that I meet in the grocery store? Am I still saying I've run out of people? That's carrying the bucket.
Yep.
I don't have anybody to talk to.
I exhausted my warm market.
Married to Bruna. We are bucket carriers.
No more bucket carrying for us. Pipeline.
Would you like to carry buckets with us?
Nope.
That's the identity that we're giving off. No.
Nope.
Okay. My name is Pablo. Meet my wife, Paul. And we build pipelines. That's the people that I want to work with.
There you go.
Not knowing how to start a conversation, not knowing how to initiate a text message to a prospect that you know for a fact to be the difference maker in your business. You're still carrying buckets. Those are buckets that you carry. There's solutions for all of that. For those of you who are brand new, I'm going to introduce you truly tomorrow or over the weekend to my digital trend called HBAI.
HBAI.
You're a person who's the fastest, most intelligent, swiftest, coolest dude in network marketing that you've ever met in the industry. It's the AI version of me.
Yeah.
I trained him well. He has over 20-something years of success that I've created in network marketing. And any person, no matter who it is, how many of you believe that whoever you had as a prospect, how many of you would feel confident having you talk to anyone in your prospect? How many of you believe
Damn
that I
right.
would find
Shit.
out the right things to say? How many of you believe that I would come with confidence? How many of you believe that no matter how rich they are, they won't shake my tree?
Right.
I don't care about that. And I will be able to deliver the goods. And if they're looking for the opportunity, there's a great chance that they're going to actually convert and become a partner with us, right?
Exactly.
Well, all of that confidence is what I've done is I've taken all of that knowledge and confidence and I put it into that particular AI. It's the smartest, richest AI in network marketing history. And we'll show you how to maximize just from that amongst many other things that we'll talk about. I'm not going to overwhelm you tomorrow. That I promise. But your homework session and how we will begin tomorrow is I want you coming with your list of where you're carrying buckets. If you don't know where you're carrying buckets, you won't be able to complete your pipeline. And your question is, where in my business am I carrying buckets instead of pipelines? And the question you should be asking yourself in journaling is, where do I work harder? Where do I work smarter instead of harder? Tonight, we covered mindset. As you guys know, there's a 3M methodology that I operate with. And tonight was the first one, which is mindset. Tomorrow, we move into methodology for the method. We will move into methodology and method. And between tomorrow and Sunday, we'll also cover media. Mindset, media, methodology. And when we master those, the fourth thing will undoubtedly arise, and that will be money.
Money.
Because at the end of the day, it's the reason that we do this. We're not here for friends.
Nope.
There's a lot of places I could have got a lot of friends. I didn't join network marketing for friends. I actually had 5 reasons why I joined network marketing. The first one was money. The second one was money. The third one was money. And I think the fourth and fifth were money.
Yeah.
I get confused about which ones they were. And the 5 different reasons. As we come to a close, we have 2 minutes left. Here's what I want to ask of you right now. Those of you who were at a 2, those of you who were at a 3, those of you who were at a 1. I want to be graded. Why? I told you I'm here to be stretched. This is a stretch for me. You were at a 2, if you were at a 1, if you're at a 3, and listen, I love transparency and honesty. I don't want you giving me answers to float my ego. My ego is already healthy enough. If you've improved, if you now feel a sense that tonight alone, that you've gotten so much value from tonight, that you've actually increased your numbers. Tell me if you increase, just put 2 and then put 6, or 2 to 3, or 2, or 1 to 2, or 1 to 5. Put 2 numbers up there now, where you were at first and where are you now.
Damn. 2 to 3.
If you was at a 9 when you came, you're like, this dude really disappointed me. I can't believe this dude talked about this stuff. I was at a 9, now I'm at a 3. Tell me, to be honest with you, there as well. Originals now went from a 2 to a 6.
Or to 10.
Aurelia went from a 4 to a 10. Wow. All right. It was at Karen went from a 10 to 1,000. I appreciate that. Amir went from a 2 to a 4, 3 to a 5. I got a lot of work to do, guys. Ruben went from a 1 to an 8. I love that. Thank you for the. I just want honesty. Who's that? Where went from a 2 to a 7, 7.5 to a 9, 10 to 1,000, 3 to a 6. I got a lot of work to do. And I appreciate you guys being honest. I appreciate Todd telling me, hey, listen, I don't get it so much. Nancy's from a 1 to a 3. Nancy, I appreciate that. You know what? I got some work to do. My goal, Nancy, is this here. My goal is to make sure that by Sunday, I at least get you to a 7. That's my goal. Trino went from a 2 to a 4, 8 to a 9. Todd went from 8 to a 9. Amal's already at 10, 8 to a 10. 1 to Stacy went from a 1 to a 5. That means we're making progress. Why? Because just like I am, my effort right here is to find out where I am. Awareness. Remember we talked about awareness? We gotta be aware. Okay? Then alignment. Then activation. I'm now aware of where I am. I'm aware that Jason was a 3. I'm aware that Sally was a 2. Now a 7. But I still got some people out there who are 4s and 5s. And so what do? I am the example of how you're going to go through this entire next 60 days. You're going to be aware. And what you're going to do is you're going to improve. So as I go through my notes tonight, I'm going to look, okay, how can I improve? Jamie went from a 2 to a 3. At least it's improvement. Wonderful. At least it's improvement. I don't care if it's 1 to 1.5. I look for improvement. If I can get them from a 1 to a 1.5, I know with a little bit more effort and maybe a little bit more time, I can get them over to a 7. Because I'm not going to quit until we do that.
There you go.
Not going to quit until we do it. Tomorrow's going to be a lot more of engagement. Tomorrow is going to move more to methodology. I want you to bring your ideas tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we come in here and we're going to move from implementation and we're going to move to ideation, ideas. We're going to operate tomorrow from the 4th highest level of value that's out there. We're going to be operating from the 4th highest level of value. And for those of you who are still wondering and thinking that it is a problem, tonight before you go to bed, what I want you to do is I want you to design a talk to your universe, to your inner self, your higher version of you, and I want you to command that whatever issues, challenges, or problems that you think that you have, command that they go away by replacing them with more empowering, positive words. So tonight, as you rest, that rest is nothing but reprogramming. That's what it is. So that the body and the mind can reprogram. So when you come here tomorrow, we're going to be open, ready, willing, able, somebody said, cameras on, representing, looking your best. We're not going to come bring our worst self or second best. Come looking with our best energy. I'm going to bring my best energy. I'm going to get rewired tonight. I got a big job to do. I got a lot of you to get to a 7. Love you guys. This has been absolutely amazing so far. The 3-day AI challenge, first day is in the books. You can take it home. It's in the bag. Relive it, rewatch it, rework it. And tomorrow we're going to go ahead and knock the socks off of methodology. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bright and early, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, that's 25.